while energy costs jumped 1.5% monthly and 2.8% annually. The report was delayed due to the ongoing government shutdown. It also showed core inflation is up 3 percentage points from last year. And speaking of inflation, it is taking a big bite out of your credit card rewards.
Inflation raises the cost of things, but it also erodes the value of your credit card points. Bankrate's Ted Rossman says one reason is because some redemption values are tied to current prices, like award pricing for travel. One example?
A flight that used to cost a flat 25,000 miles might now cost 40 or 50,000 miles.
He recommends redeeming your rewards strategically and keeping a close eye on the value of your points. Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
A bond hearing is underway in Clayton County this morning for a former College Park police officer. Sergeant Donnie Smith is facing multiple felony charges, including first-degree homicide by vehicle because of an unauthorized chase that ended with the vehicle he was pursuing leaving the roadway and striking a tree. Both occupants were killed. Smith failed to report the incident or render aid. He was fired from his job, arrested, and is now awaiting trial. Thousands of accidents involving deer happen every year in Georgia, and Kevin Rose with the Georgia Department of Natural Resources says fall is a time of increased encounters, and he warns deer can be unpredictable.
Deer can behave erratically across the road. They could be standing 1 second and darting across the road the next.
And he says the approaching time change creates even more potential for accidents.
Moves our commute to there at the dusk and dawn hours, the sunrise-sunset time period, when deer are more active.
He says honking your horn is your best defense, but says you should not swerve to avoid a deer because you may run off the road or strike another vehicle, and that can be even more dangerous. President Trump has granted clemency to Changpeng Zhao, the billionaire founder of the Binance cryptocurrency exchange. He pled guilty to money laundering in 2023, but the pardon or clemency grant has raised questions about a possible conflict of interest for the president.
The exchange he founded has forged a lucrative partnership with the Trump-connected crypto firm World Liberty Financial, including a $2 billion deal involving the United Arab Emirates that could generate tens of millions for the Trump family and the family of the president's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, all of whom are listed on the firm's website. But the White House this morning insisting Zhao's pardon does not present a conflict of interest, and Trump claiming he doesn't know details of the crypto tycoon's conviction he just forgave.
Correspondent Jay O'Brien says the company paid $4 billion in fines, and Zhao served a 4-month sentence as a result of the plea deal. 2 federal investigations continuing into allegations of widespread gambling involving the NBA that have led to the arrest of more than 30 people. 3 of those arrests are here in Georgia on charges of illegal poker games involving the Mafia and Hall of Famer and current Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups. Christian Benavides reports the second investigation involves individual wagers called prop bets.
This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams.
Those allegations include current players Terry Rozier, who is charged with giving inside information for those bets and even removing himself from at least one game by faking injury. Both Billups and Rozier have been put on leave by the NBA. Well, it is 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We have triple team traffic with Smilin' Mark McKay.
All right, Graham, we still have the emergency road work that started midweek and could go through the weekend underway this morning. Crews working in 2 right lanes to repair the road I-75 northbound, north of Mount Zion Boulevard, exit 231. Really thickening up that northbound traffic back at Highway 138. 675 is a good escape route. We've seen the delays taper down in downtown on the northbound side of the connector. A little crowded around 17th Street Atlantic Station heading south. Where are the slow spots left over on 285, Ashley Frasca?
Heavy again coming up from Flat Shoals on the southeast perimeter. New trouble on 285 northbound between I-20 and Glenwood Road, and slow into that Sunshine. The crowd out of Cobb County on the inner loop 285 east almost to Riverside Drive. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Mostly sunny, 74 today. Saturday starts mostly sunny. Will be partly cloudy in the afternoon. Low 49, high 73 tomorrow. Cloudy with showers moving in late on Sunday, high 64.
It is 51 degrees in Mableton, 50 degrees in Decula, and we have 52 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Well, you made it. I made it. We all made it. It's Friday. Happy Friday, friends. Mark Airman crew at your beck and call for the next 3 hours. And as always, we have a ton of important things to talk about. We'll sprinkle in some non-important things as well. But obviously, you just heard Graham mention we got some new inflation numbers. Not great there. We'll monitor the market, see how it impacts us as far as our 401ks are concerned. But obviously, it's going to impact us when we go to the grocery store. President Trump has called off all trade talks with Canada after Ontario. That's not a state, Deborah. That's
Ontario is a territory.
A territory. Province started running an ad involving Ronald Reagan, old audio of Ronald Reagan from 1987, in his dislike of tariffs. President Trump doesn't like the ad, so he says we have halted all trade talks with Canada, our second biggest trade partner, while President Trump plans a trip to Asia to shore up trade talks with our number one trade partner, China. So a lot of moving parts there. Speaking of President Trump, obviously those narco boat attacks in the Caribbean have been grabbing a lot of headlines. President Trump says they might move those attacks to land now. Coming up in 30 minutes, Colonel Jeff McCausland's going to join us. Bill Crane, political analyst at 10:35. Deborah, you've got this is our final pair of tickets to give away today to see.
That's right. Final pair for Brian Adams and Pat Benatar.
Unbelievable. So your last chance to win those. I want to start off, though, with the story that broke yesterday. And it's still mind-boggling. The FBI arrest in the NBA gambling rings. Two separate stories there. Just an insane story. Hall of Fame player and current coach, now temporarily without a job, of the Portland Trailblazers, Chauncey Billups, an active player, Terry Rozier, a former NBA player, Damon Jones, all arrested by the FBI in this dual investigation. Point shaving, prop negotiations, insider trading was one side. The other side was, of course, these rigged gambling poker games with mafiosa ties. Like this is a scene out of Hollywood. Like, it's insane. Obviously, the reaction has been global. The NBA is a global sport, so popular all over the globe. And the NBA season just kicked off, or tipped off, I should say, the other day. And Vinny, help me out. So Charles and Kenny and Ernie and Shaq, they're not on TNT anymore. They're on ESPN. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, so they're the preeminent NBA show. They tackled this yesterday. This is Kenny Smith talking about the FBI arrests of over 30 people, including those NBA names, and what he thinks the root cause of it is.
The other part is we have to realize gambling is an addiction. So the addiction of it is what makes you make illogical decisions. So not because you make $9 million. There are people who are making, as the FBI director said, there's a man who lost $1.8 million. That means he has a lot of money, so he has an addiction to that, those fish that they talk about that they were bringing in. So gambling is an addiction which can make you make illogical decisions regardless of your ethnic background, regardless of your physical background, and regardless of your financial status. So let's understand that.
So Kenny Smith, it says it's an addiction problem here. Charles Barkley, Atlanta resident, disagreed with that analysis.
The reason I'm mad at Kenny is, man, this ain't got nothing to do with damn gambling addiction. This ain't got nothing to do with addiction. These dudes are stupid. Why are they stupid? Under no circumstances can you fix basketball games. Under no circumstances. How much is he gonna benefit taking himself out the game to get unders? Like, he's making $26 million. The notion he gave, how much of these guys he gave a head up? He took himself out of games on prop bets. How much money is he gonna make?
Well, if he did that, you're proving my point.
What do you mean?
That means
that's
that
not
it's an
addiction.
illogical thought process. No. If you're making $26 million to try to win 50,000, like, that's illogical. So that you're proving my point.
No, that's not addiction. That's stupidity.
Addiction, stupidity, maybe both. I don't know. A lot of unanswered questions, but I think Charles Barkley, Deborah, makes a good point there. You're making $26 million a year. What's the incentive? Terry Rozier, allegedly, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. What's the incentive? You're making $26 million a year to take yourself out of a game so the gambling syndicate can bet the under on the number of points you're going to score. What's the most upside he's going to get there? Charles Barkley says 50,000. Why risk $26 million? So that's the question I have. Did these gamblers, the syndicate, did the mafia have something on these individuals? Chauncey Billups is a Hall of Fame basketball player enshrined in Springfield, Massachusetts, which, by the way, is where the Basketball Hall of Fame is, if you didn't know. Why risk the legacy? Why risk the millions you're making as an NBA coach? Is that where the mafia comes into this? Do they have leverage over these NBA stars to say, hey, you better do this or X, Y, and Z? A lot of unanswered questions about this. We did hear from the attorney of one of those indicted. I believe it's the Rozier's attorney, and he was not happy with how this went down. He basically said, hey, you could have just told us to turn ourselves in. You didn't have to do this pomp and circumstance kind of situation. So still a lot of crazy unanswered questions there on the NBA side of things. The other thing is, why did they get involved in this illegal poker ring when it comes to the mafia? That I believe is where the mafia is, figures into this story. That they were running these, not only just illegal card games, which to me is, if you are playing poker with your buddies on a Saturday afternoon, if you're taking a rake, that's considered an illegal poker game. I don't know the severity of that, but the fact that these were poker games that were cheating, they were using cheating methods, digital methods to cheat. So Matt Barkley is a semi-famous, he's a famous poker player. And apparently he knew of these games that were being run by the mafia back in 2019. This is Matt Barkley, professional poker player, talking about that.
This must have been like 5 years ago, 2019-ish, I think, where there was this game. It started in LA and then it came to Vegas for a few days, and it was all built around Chauncey Billups. And the person who told me about it was like, look, I know the game runners. I'm telling you 100% this game is on the up and up. And I was like, well, I know a lot of the people that are involved, and I'm telling you 100% that it is not. I had some friends who went and played it both in LA and in Vegas. And it obviously was for sure confirmed to be cheated. Mm-hmm. Like, people who clearly didn't even understand the rules of No Limit Hold'em are just jamming hundreds of big blinds in with a gutty and then just drilling it. Only the pros are losing. It was basically confirmed amongst all of the pros that the game was cheated, but there's just no recourse.
Gotcha.
And they got absolutely flayed. Well, it's tough too whenever you're dealing with somebody high profile like that, because they carry a lot of weight and hold a lot of power. So all you can do is kind of unite together and threaten to publicly out him or extort him in some sort of capacity, in which case, good luck.
As poker pro Matt Barkley saying they knew about these games, these cheating poker games back in 2019. We'll continue our team coverage now. Joining us live covering the story for ABC News, Peter Haralambous. Peter, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Thanks so much for having me.
Stunned. I was stunned when this story broke yesterday, Peter. Two angles to the story, the prop betting angle and the illegal poker mafia angle. What do we know so far about the case against these NBA players and coaches?
Yeah, this case is sprawling. It's these two indictments are related but slightly different, and it involves more than 30 people who at this point all eyes are on them to figure out if anyone's going to take a plea deal, plead out, and work with the government and potentially expand this case. Again, one of these cases, as you mentioned, relates to these poker games, this idea that people like Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups was basically used to attract people to these games, and then that these games were rigged using technology like X-ray machines and card shuffling machines that determine the outcome of the game. Separately, there's this case about inside information that basically bets were made on these public sports books that basically used inside information about who was injured and the person, for example, the question of whether, for example, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, for example, whether he would be able to play in a game, and if so, would he underperform? those kind of bets netted hundreds of thousands of dollars and were used to profit someone like Rosier personally.
Where does the mafia fit in this story, Peter?
Yeah, that's quite a part of this one. So we are talking about 13 mafia members who were indicted as part of this poker game scandal. These are from 3 different crime families here in New York, the Bonanos, the Gambinos, and the Genovese. Basically, they helped orchestrate these games. They took place across the country, New York, East Hampton, Las Vegas, Miami. They helped with this intricate technology, and then when people couldn't pay their bills, when they could not meet their debts after they'd been scammed, the mafia used violence to collect. This is a scheme that is weirdly old school in terms of the tactics here, rigging games, using violence to extort people, but used very new school technology like these, expensive X-ray machine that could tell which hand was going to win, and complex communications between these players to kind of send this information around to basically everyone who was on the inside so that they could place their bets appropriately.
I have a hard time wrapping my mind around the incentive that a Chauncey Billups or a Rozier would have in this. They've already amassed multi-millions of dollars in their career. Chauncey Billups, a Hall of Fame player, now a coach. Is it possible that the mafia had something on these guys to incentivize them? Because if you're making $26 million a year, what is $50,000 on a prop bet scam gonna net you? I don't see the risk reward benefit there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the really kind of hard to understand element of this, right? Because you're talking about people who are making a ton of money, Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, who are wealthy individuals who necessarily are not needing an additional few hundred thousands of dollars, but there's no indication at the moment that that information was used against them. And really, what prosecutors are going to point to is that this is all about greed. If either of them decide to take this to trial, I assume that's a word we're going to hear over and over again in the opening and closing statements, to just highlight to people that this was a needless crime that was really just used to make more money on top of already a very profitable career in the NBA.
Peter, you think we're going to see some more names pop that we recognize if any of these people that are arrested decide to flip and cooperate with the government? Do you think there could be more names that come out?
Certainly. I mean, I think the two things to keep an eye out for, as I think your previous guest suggested, is one, who else knew about this? Because it seems at times like this was something that was well known within the league that players heard about and knew about and didn't do much about. And then the other question, of course, is who flips and who pleads guilty? Because we're talking about a big case. When you have a case this big, especially including members of the mafia, people flipping, pleading guilty, and cooperating with the government is somewhat an inevitability. And if that happens, do they have inside information about other people, other face cards, as they call them, that were used and paid to attract people to these games, or other bets, for example, that were placed based on inside information? So I think at this point, once we get through the phase of these initial arraignments where people plead guilty, all eyes are on this question of who's going to take a deal and what does that mean for the rest of the case.
What's the schedule court-wise on these arraignments? When are we going to see this start moving forward in the justice system?
Yeah, so they began as early as yesterday afternoon. We began seeing these, for example, here in New York. We saw a number of arraignments in the Eastern District of New York. And then the case moves rather slowly, I'll say. I mean, we're talking about a district that isn't the fastest in the country and a case that is really complicated, especially when you have this many co-defendants. The process of turning over evidence really slows things down. It's going to be a months-long process, but theoretically, if we see people take this to trial, I could see a world in which this goes sometime as early as the winter.
Final question, unrelated to this. Congrats on the nuptials, buddy. How was the wedding?
Thank you so much. It was beautiful. About 2 weeks ago to this weekend, just the best weekend I could have imagined. So thank you for mentioning it.
You're welcome. And fantastic. Did you go on a honeymoon?
Not yet. We did a few days off. My wife's in law school, so she's got class to go to. But we're going to go to Hawaii in December once she's on break.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Peter.
Thank you so much.
There you go. Peter Haralambous, ABC News on the developing story. I've got one little hypothesis that I'm going to talk about, and then we'll move on from the story. But I'll tell you that after we check traffic on this Friday morning. Let's say hello and good morning to Mike Shields.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Yes, the South Side continues to be the story this morning. Emergency road repairs continue since Wednesday morning. The two right lanes are blocked. 75 northbound past Mount Zion Boulevard, exit 231. Slow as you leave Highway 138. If you want to avoid it, if you're coming up out of McDonough and Stockbridge, stay to the right. Take 675 northbound. That repair work expected to last through the weekend, so that could impact you all weekend long. This report is brought to you by CarStar, auto body and repair experts. Your true collision repair to the experts at CarStar with professionally trained technicians who can repair all makes and models. Visit carstar.com. That's carstar.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The Love Your Home Minute from TE Certified. Hi, it's Chris Chandler with Josh, the local owner of TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You know Josh. That's him you see jumping out of the back of their trucks, Josh. Welcome back. Tell me something unique you had at your home that's not top of mind for maybe the rest of us.
It's my whole home generator. This is one of my favorite things. I forget I have it until the power goes out, and then all of a sudden I have internet, I have TV, I have a refrigerator, I can open my garage door, my pool pump runs, I have heat in the winter, I have cooling during the summer. We've put in tons of these for people that have medical equipment, they have refrigerators, they have freezers, they have aquariums, they have pools, even people with wine chillers. But most importantly, we put them in for people who don't want to be in the dark when the power goes out.
We've had every kind of weather this past few months, and in the newsroom, we know the biggest problem here when this happens is the power outages.
Your power goes out and you lose everything.
Great insights, Josh. I just added a whole home generator to my wish list.
TE Certified, we love your home.
We are here with CFP Matthew Decker of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Matt, you have created a 20-question guide that asks the pointed, sometimes uncomfortable questions about where you stand in retirement. And you have to ask yourself, who is your guide?
That's right. Who is your guide? We sometimes think of retirement as like a mountain that you need to climb. And if you're going to ascend the mountain, it's important that you have a guide that has been there before, who has helped other people accomplish the same task. And we've seen that this is so important. There's so much value in the financial planning world. But if you don't know what's accessible, if you don't know what questions to ask, if you don't know what kind of value you should be receiving for the fees that you're paying, oftentimes you don't get it. So we created this guide to ask those questions and really point you in the direction of the type of service, the type of value that you should be receiving for the fees that you're paying if you're engaging a professional money manager or financial planner.
All right, so Matt, how can we get our hands on this 20-question guide?
We want to make it as simple as possible. So you can call us at 770-280-1488. All you have to do is tell the representative that you're looking for our 20-question guide. You can also go to our homepage, retireatlradio.com. You can send us a note there. Just let us know you're looking for the guide. We don't need your email address. You don't have to create an account. You know, it's not protected by some kind of paywall. This is something we want to provide to you for free so that you can know, am I getting value for the fees that I'm paying? It's complimentary, created by us here at the Vincent Financial Group. Again, 770-280-1488. Ask for the guide, or you can go to retireatlradio.com.
770-280-1488. or online at retireatlradio.com. And join us for Retire ATL every Sunday right here on WSB.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
At Butler Lexus of South Atlanta, you're their priority. From personalized service to luxury amenities, they make sure you feel valued every step of the way. Buying or servicing, your experience matters. Call 800-NEW-LEXUS. Butler Lexus South Atlanta, the standard of amazing.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Bugs bugging you? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade, Georgia, every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
They could have called me at 6 o'clock this morning and said, come to New York, and I would have made that happen. Instead, they wanted to have a little arrest, a little perp walk, a little support of their press conference up in New York, and it was completely avoidable.
That's Jim Trusty, attorney for Terry Rozier. That's a hell of a name for a lawyer, Trusty. Jim Trusty. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. All right, really quick. So the mafia angle, Deborah. And I say this with no ill intention or anything, but if you were doing business in New York City in the 80s and 90s, you had mafia. You had to deal with the mafia. President Trump, obviously, building tall buildings. You have the Teamsters. You have the waste management folk. I know firsthand people that had to deal with the mafia in the 80s and 90s in New York City. I don't know what the current status of the mafia, La Cosa Nostra, is in 2025, but there's no way President Trump didn't have mafia ties. And it's not saying anything illegal, but like, hey, you want this building, you want Trump Tower built, you got to deal with the Teamsters. We need 4 no-show jobs. You know, we've seen Sopranos.
Yeah, Sopranos, Tulsa King, it's all the same.
But it was so long ago. I wonder if any of the Genovese or the Gambino crime families that got arrested, if anyone like back-channeled to the president, be like, hey, what are you doing, man? Like, we're supposed to, we were boys back in the 80s. What's going on? Why is Kash Patel arresting us? Again, the generations of the crime families have moved on in the last 40, 45 years. So maybe there is no, but somewhere someone's trying to contact the administration and be like, hey, Donnie, remember the Trump Tower? We got you that, we got that bill. Anyway, I'm not inferring anything was illegal. It's just the way it was in New York City. If you wanted to open a bar or restaurant, you needed a liquor license. Yeah, you had to get it through the city, but first you had to get it through the mafia. It's just the way that it worked in the 80s and 90s. I don't know what it is today. I don't know. All right, news, weather, and traffic in less than 3. When we come back, the narco boats in the Caribbean, might they now move to land? Colonel Jeff McCausland, CBS News military analyst, going to join us live, get us caught up to date on that. Social media is up and active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
Two houses, same neighborhood, nearly identical. But one had an orchard sign, and it sold for way more. So what happened? Well, the first homeowner used a traditional agent, and after weeks of sitting on the market, price drops, and mounting frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard. Their local orchard agent didn't just list the home, they knew how to market it properly. They knew which upgrades would attract serious buyers, brought in pros to handle the prep, and positioned the home to sell for top dollar. And thanks to Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, that homeowner moved into their new place before the old one even hit the market. No showings, no disruptions, no living in limbo. That's the difference. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard. Start with a free home valuation at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning at 9:30. I'm Graham Carroll. This news brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Our top story, a judge in Clayton County expected to decide this morning whether or not to grant bond to a former College Park police officer facing multiple felony charges, including first-degree vehicular homicide. The now former Sergeant Donnie Smith was engaged in an unauthorized chase pursuing a vehicle on I-285 at speeds exceeding 100 miles an hour. The chase ended when the SUV he was following left the roadway and struck a tree near the Riverdale Road exit. 2 occupants inside of the Land Rover were thrown from the vehicle and did not survive. Sergeant Smith allegedly left the scene without reporting the incident or rendering aid. He is being held without bond since his arrest. New this morning, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. military conducted its 10th strike on a vessel suspected of carrying drugs. He says 6 people were killed, and that brings the death toll in the campaign against drug cartels to at least 46 people. Hegseth says the strike in the Caribbean involved a boat operated by the Tren de Agua gang. Atlanta police say a man with 36 prior arrests is in custody again, this time accused of firing shots out of an SUV toward a homeless camp near Forsyth and Peachtree Streets. Body cam video shows the moments after Alexander Woods sped by police in an SUV.
He was shooting at the homeless guys and he tried to ram me.
Officers say they caught up with Wood at a nearby apartment complex where he surrendered. His long list of charges include possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and reckless driving. A new report on Atlanta's traffic confirms what many drivers already know. The delays cost people a lot of time and money.
An average commuter in Atlanta wasted 87 hours sitting in traffic last year. That puts Atlanta in the top 10 in the 2025 Urban Mobility Report from the Texas A&M Transportation Institute. The report finds Atlanta experiences 6 hours of congestion every day. The worst times are between 4 and 5 p.m. The average commuter in Atlanta loses over $2,200 from lost productivity and wasted fuel due to congestion. The report shows traffic congestion now exceeds pre-pandemic levels. Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
The U.S. annual inflation rate rose to 3% in September, slightly higher than August, but below expectations. That's according to new numbers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics this morning. The Consumer Price Index increased 0.3% from the previous month. The report, delayed due to the ongoing government shutdown, also showed core inflation is up 3% from last year. President Trump says he's cutting off trade negotiations with Canada after an ad campaign featuring President Reagan's warnings about the long-term risks of tariffs. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the messages are misleading.
One of the leaders in Canada was running ads in the United States on tariffs that took President Reagan's words out of context. Even the Reagan Foundation criticized him for it.
The president posting to Truth Social that tariffs are very important to the country's national security and economy. In August, Trump announced a 35% tariff on Canadian goods with some exemptions due to a previous trade agreement. It is 9:33 and it is time for a check of traffic and weather. Right now we go to the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
And Graham, watching the delays continue from the south side out of Stockbridge into Morrow with emergency road repairs that continue since Wednesday as 2 right lanes remain blocked as crews repair that hole that formed on I-75 northbound just past Mount Zion Boulevard before Jonesboro Road. Delays start back around Highway 138. I-675 still a good option for you out of Stockbridge through Morrow getting up to I-285, and delays starting to form into Cobb County I-20 eastbound past Westlake Chapel Road in the work zone. Sluggish now leaving 285. I'm Mike Schultz, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. 74 with sunshine this afternoon, falling back through the 60s this evening under a clear sky. Saturday, mostly sunny early, partly cloudy in the afternoon, low 49, high 73. Cloudy with afternoon and evening rain on Sunday, high 64.
It is 52 degrees in Swanee, 51 degrees in Fayetteville, and 54 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
The massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
have no ties to a gang.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
They don't want to pay the people that have worked, and, you know, this was supposed to be this was
President
a test.
Trump yesterday and the government shutdown now into day 24. Still to come, the latest on that. But next are attacks on the narco boats. Colonel Jeff McCausland live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. Call A1 Garage Door Service today.
A1 from day one.
More and more these days, people are in pain, are taking control of their health and looking beyond the traditional medicine. Hey, it's Mark here. That's why QC Kinetics is so successful. People with chronic joint pain are learning that there are other options besides steroids, meds, and surgery. Patients fighting pain are getting lasting relief using advanced cellular treatments. It's QC Kinetics regenerative medicine that can revitalize your joints using growth factors from your own body. And check it out, guys. It's a simple injection. No hospital stay. It's fast, all natural, and no downtime. I want you to call QC Kinetics and get a free consultation. Exercise your freedom to look beyond the same old solutions. Thousands of patients around the country finding a better life with QC Kinetics and their amazing regenerative treatments. Call now to get started. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Appointments available on Saturdays. Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, Decatur, and Douglasville.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in Amco just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to Amco.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, sufficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned Amco near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA.
MCO.
For the first time in history, the World Championship banner will fly north of the border. The Toronto Blue Jays are baseball's best in 1992.
Painful memory for Braves fans. 33 years ago today, the Blue Jays defeated the Braves Game 6 of the World Series, making them the first team outside of the U.S. to win the championship. Speaking of Braves, I've got some breaking news. I'm going to bring it to you at 11, Deborah. Really good news for a former Braves player. That's all I can say about it now. But I'm very excited about that. All right, let's talk about the narco boat attacks in the Caribbean right now. We get an update on that from President Trump. And actually, before we go to Colonel Jeff McCausland, this just popped. Obviously, this is off the coast dealing with Colombia and Venezuela, etc. CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano in Bogota has spoken exclusively with the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, about 2 U.S. military strikes on boats allegedly carrying drugs off the coast of his country and the war of words between himself and President Trump, who has called Petro, quoting now, a bad guy, a thug.
Are you ready to lower the rhetoric to perhaps find some diplomatic way of stopping these attacks?
A mí me han insultado.
You have been insulted.
Y bastante.
Colombia is a drug den.
President Trump has blamed Petro for failing to rein in cartels. The Drug Enforcement Administration says about 90% of cocaine that reaches the U.S. comes from Colombia.
So we've been monitoring these narco boat attacks, covering the story for CBS News military analyst Colonel Jeff McCausland. Colonel, as always, thanks for your time, my friend.
Mark, it's a great pleasure.
I mean, I'm a worldly man, but I can't remember anything similar happening in U.S. history where the military is attacking these non-military vessels just carrying allegedly narcotics. Am I misremembering, or is this kind of unprecedented?
No, it's a bit unprecedented. I mean, the best analogy historically I can come, frankly,
was when Pancho Villa, who was a Mexican thug, though he claimed to be a revolutionary, crossed the border and attacked a couple of towns in Arizona. And General John Pershing led an American expedition that went physically into Mexico. This was during the Wilson administration, to chase this particular bandit. But in that case, Pancho Villa at least had attacked American territory, whereas, of course, in this case, we're talking about criminals. We're talking about narco-terrorists, guys who are making money off illicit narcotics, hardly a group that actually threatens the United States as did al-Qaeda, though the Secretary of Defense, Mr. Hegseth, wants to do that comparison.
Yeah, I was about to say yesterday, Mr. Hegseth said that the narcotics trade, these, what's the term? The narco empires?
Cartels.
The cartels, thank you. The cartels are the ISIS of the Western Hemisphere, trying to, I would imagine, build their case that, hey, this is no different than the Obama administration firing drones at ISIS, et cetera. Is that what they're trying to do here?
That's exactly what they're trying to do here. But Obama and Mr. Trump, when he was first term, and George Bush, et cetera, also had an authorization to use military force. Actually had two, one in 2001, 2002, which still are basically in effect that authorize the U.S. military and U.S. government to conduct attacks against those who were involved with, supported the 9/11 attacks in New York. Now, we stretched that pretty far, about across 20 countries, to include al-Qaeda in different places around the world, now to include ISIS, which is kind of a derivative of al-Qaeda in many, many ways. But it hardly can stretch all the way to the Caribbean and to the Pacific Ocean off of Colombia when you're talking about narco-terrorists. I mean, ISIS physically attacked the United States, had an ideology that called for the destruction of the United States. As horrific as these drug guys are, let's be honest, they are just criminals making money illegally by the sale of narcotics. They hardly have an ideology that threatens the United States of America.
Relatedly, could this also bolster the administration's tactic? We've heard that these cartels are now putting bounty on ICE members or members of the FBI for shutting down their flow of drugs. Could that, help the president and the administration's case that, hey, these are violent folks and we're in the right for attacking these boats?
Well, they are violent folks. There's no two ways about it. I've talked to Coast Guard officers who have said to me, we stop these guys, we arrest them, we search the vessel, we get evidence, we interview them, we get cell phones, we get laptops, and from that we, use that as part of our larger efforts against the cartel. The guy driving the boat is basically an Uber driver. I mean, we're not exactly hitting the leaders of the cartel in those particular boats. They're writing this off as, cost of doing business. And several Coast Guard officers I've talked to have said this is, from their standpoint, an intelligence shot in the foot. Furthermore, several of them said to me, as they conducted those operations in past, about 1 every 5 times when they stopped a vessel, they discovered it didn't have drugs on board. And so far, at least, the administration has not made the case that these really are drug traffickers, though they very likely are in many cases. They have shown no evidence. And in fact, they captured 2 guys, one guy from Ecuador and one guy from Colombia, and immediately released them to their home country. Now, I don't recall during the 20 years of the war on terrorism where we picked up 2 al-Qaeda guys and then returned them to their home countries.
Interesting. Colonel Jeff McCausland joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Yesterday, President Trump and Secretary Hegseth possibly floating idea that land is going to be next as he plans to broaden his strikes. Wanted to talk maybe about land-based targets for these cartels, their infrastructure on land. That reminds me of the movie, the Harrison Ford movie, the Jack Ryan, where that was basically what the president wanted to do and seize the drug money. Is this within the scope of the powers, do we think, that we could hit these cartel infrastructures on land as well?
Well, once again, this is for the United States Congress to authorize the use of military force under the United States Constitution. And so far, the administration has made no effort to provide evidence to Congress or solicit that type of legislation. This seems to be causing consternation not only in Democratic members of Congress, but Republicans as well. We talk about land, and frankly, let's be honest, fentanyl is the drug that is most threatening to American people. The vast majority of fentanyl comes by land across the Mexican border. So you're basically, when you start talking about land, you're talking about attacking targets in Mexico. And without any kind of congressional authority, this is basically an act of war. And I can tell you right now, will not be, very well received by the Mexicans. So unfortunately, what I worry about is without the kind of congressional authorization, without presenting clear evidence that this is happening. They're undermining their case, number one, while this problem escalates both horizontally, now involves Venezuela, now involves Colombia, could involve Mexico, and also is escalating vertically. I mean, we had B-52 bombers flying off the coast of Venezuela on practice bombing runs to be more threatening to the Venezuelans. And clearly in the case of Venezuela, there's a large scale of people who believe, me included, that not only is this about narcotics, which Venezuela is not a huge exporter of narcotics, it's really about taking down the Maduro regime.
Clear and Present Danger was the movie, by the way.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. Colonel McCausland, great stuff as always. Thanks for your insight, my friend.
Take care, Mark.
There you go, Colonel Jeff McCausland. It's interesting. I get the argument, hey, the flow of narcotics into the United States is a crisis, the fentanyl crisis and everything. But Colonel brings up a good point. Does the president, does the administration need congressional approval for these strikes? Did Obama need congressional approval for the drone strikes during the war on terror, or George Bush, et cetera? But interesting story. Speaking of narcos, there is a narco element to one of my favorite TV shows, Landman. I already thought, Deborah, that there were 2 seasons of Landman out. That's how good the first season was.
Yeah.
I was like, they did so much in that first season. Second season, I didn't even know. It's coming out soon. They dropped the trailer.
It comes out November 16th. There's a couple of trailers online. If you haven't seen it yet, it looks so good. I don't want to give any spoilers away because if you haven't watched season 1, go marathon it before season 2 comes out. It's so good. But you are going to see, like, the characters, like Demi Moore is in it a little bit more.
Okay.
This coming up
Billy
season.
Bob, the star.
Obviously, Billy Bob Thornton is the
he's
main
so
character. He's going to be there. And then they've added Sam Elliott, who I know you love. And they're adding Andy Garcia, who kind of popped a little bit at the very end of last season. He's going to have a regular role in season 2. Again, I don't want to give any more plot points away.
No, go watch it.
Yeah,
go
watch Landman.
Vinny wants to know if Billy Bob Thornton's daughter is returning to the series. Vinny was a big fan of Billy Bob, not real daughter, but fictional daughter.
And the mom, too.
And the wife,
Allie Larder, yes.
Now, again, I honestly thought there was already 2 seasons of Landman. That's the impact it had. The first season was meteor. It was amazing.
Yeah, Longoria, someone from Texas like you can relate to so much of it. You would love this show.
I know if I had time.
Considering your family owns 40,000 acres of oil property in Texas,
I wish
you
I would not be here.
But here's the thing: like after such an amazing debut season, will there be a sophomore slump?
You haven't watched the trailer?
No.
Go watch the trailer.
Really?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to watch the trailer, Deborah. Thank you. All right. When we come back, are you driving one of the most stolen cars in Georgia? We'll tell you about the cars, the vehicles that are most likely to be stolen here in the Peach State after we check cars that are stolen or non-stolen clogging up the interstates. Back live to the traffic center, Mike Shields.
And stalled ones too, and that's what we have in Midtown, Mark. Live look at the jam cam, the HOV lane block, 7585 southbound between 14th and 10th Street. Just past that, a crash working on the left shoulder, so things getting a little sluggish now back at the Brookwood split as you make your way into Midtown on 7585 southbound. Still sluggish leaving the airport, just morning volume though from 166 getting up past I-20, and delays continue tomorrow 75 northbound getting past Mount Zion Boulevard exit 231 with 2 right lanes blocked with road repair work. This report is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find the looks all for under $30 with new arrivals every day. You never know what you'll find. Find a location at macy'sbackstage.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
This might help, young man. This might cure what ails you.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I run a stupid little radio show. I don't care. Have fun.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
Your friend, Eric Von Hessler, the common sense host.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The Findlay Roofing Chief Barking Officer Rufus has the zoomies. He's rolling over about saving you $1,000 bucks off your roof replacement. That's a lot of bones. Hey, it's Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Stop repairing the leaks and dragging your feet. For a limited time, save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry, this treat ends on Halloween. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The portfolio x-ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the portfolio x-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the portfolio x-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
I'm Channel 2's Lori Wilson.
I'm Fred Blankenship. Channel 2 Extra News this morning is the best place to be for breaking news.
So much is happening, and we're on it. Our reporters are the first to know in your community, bringing you fresh information, the best video.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're everywhere live to prepare you for the day ahead.
In the morning, see what's new.
Don't miss a day. Join us. Channel 2 Extra News this morning, 4:30 to 7.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
This is Governor Brian Kemp. Georgians are used to affordable, reliable energy because of the good work of the Public Service Commission. As your commissioner, Tim Echols secured a 3-year Georgia Power rate freeze and made sure our state's growth isn't hitting your wallet. Tim's keeping rates down and money in your pocket and standing against the Democrats who want hardworking Georgians to pay over $800 more per year. Keep Tim Echols in the fight by voting early or on Election Day, November the 4th.
Georgians First Leadership Committee paid for this ad.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Just hold on, we're going home. Happy 39th birthday to singer, rapper, actor Drake. Born October 24th, 1986. Joining us, future legendary music producer Vinny Drip, Down South Vinny. Drake, he beefed with who? Who was his big beef with?
He got Meek Mill, Pusha T, and Kendrick. He got a couple.
So has that impacted his legacy? Are the youngins not Team Drake anymore?
It's a lot of them that are not. But me personally, man, he just makes some great music.
He makes some great music.
It's not gonna stop me.
But musically, Kendrick better than Drake, right? I mean, there's no doubt about no.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Say that.
Anyway, Jews Nugget. Drake is Jewish, by the way. So that will not impact my decision on who I will side with in the beef between Drake and Kendrick. I just want to let that know. All right, I mentioned before the break, we have the list of the most stolen cars in Georgia. Please let it be a Jaguar XF, Deborah, because I need my car stolen so I don't have to pay for repairs anymore. Is that on the list?
Unfortunately, no Jags make this list. No.
All right. What are the most stolen cars in Georgia?
All right, most stolen cars here, and you see a lot of these on the road as you're commuting. A Honda Civic, it's one of the most popular cars being driven around and stole. Chevy Malibu, I think they stopped making Chevy Malibus.
Wow, that's an old school car. Okay.
All right, you have a Jeep. Do you have a Jeep Cherokee?
Yeah.
All right, Jeep Cherokee's number 8 on the list.
Steal that one too.
Park it in the street,
it's
leave the keys in there.
1997. Go ahead and steal that one too.
It just says Jeep Cherokee. Number 7 is a Toyota Corolla.
I thought that would be number 1 because that is such a popular car,
Right.
and the parts can you send that to the chop shop, and you can make a lot of money. I thought that would have been number 1 to be honest.
Number 6 is a car we see a lot around here, a Dodge Charger. They're always weaving in and out of traffic, going too fast. Number 5 is a Toyota Camry, another very popular car you see.
Oh, maybe that's what I thought,
the
not the
Camry.
Corolla.
Yeah, the Corolla's a little smaller.
Okay,
The Camry's the
all right.
midsize one. Number 4 is a Honda Accord, which is kind of similar to a Camry, I think.
Okay.
That's their line. Number 3 is a Nissan Altima. And number 1 and 2 make a lot of sense around here, if you ask me. Number 2 is a Chevy truck, their full-size truck.
Okay.
And number 1 is a Durango with a Swim Dad sticker on it.
Is it Dodge Durango?
No, it is not. It's a Ford pickup, like the F-150s. And those are the 2 most popular trucks that you see driving around.
I don't want to give advice to criminals. I don't, but I'm going to. I would think that so the top 2 are pickup trucks. If I were a car thief, I would avoid pickup trucks like the plague.
Really?
Yes, because there's a greater chance the owner of that pickup truck also owns a firearm. Right? And the last thing you want to do is steal, let me go steal that pimped out F-150 in that dude's driveway. The odds are that dude has a gun, is going to come out and 86 you from stealing that. I would stick with the Camrys and Corollas that I'm used to. I would. Does that make sense, Longoria?
Yeah, no, I get you. But they're probably using the trucks to then go steal other stuff to then put in the truck.
Well, that's your next level
I
criminal
also
mind.
feel like if you're stealing, you probably might be packing too.
All right, but still, why? Go steal a Subaru.
Right. Your chances are very slim.
You might get maced. You might get pepper sprayed. But there's no one with a 12 gauge driving a Subaru. But what do I know? I'm not a thief. But if I was driven to a life of crime, and I was like, well, I gotta make ends meet. I'm gonna go steal a car. I'm not stealing a pickup truck. There's no way. They have guns. You're gonna get caught mid hot wire. Can you even hot wire these new cars these days?
I think with some of the electronics, you can kind of override systems and start them now.
What's that little car that was really popular for a while?
The smart car, the Leaf?
No, it's like a Mini Cooper. Steal a Mini Cooper. You're not getting shot if you're caught stealing a Mini Cooper. You guys are doubting my theory
I'm not
here.
doubting it.
No.
The listeners are nodding their head. Yeah,
I'm just thinking it's the South, and then I see a lot more trucks on the road down here than I see cars. That's all.
Yeah, don't steal. That they shouldn't be. The criminals are dumb. Those should not be the 2 most. You could die stealing that. I mean, you could die stealing any car. But all right, enough advice for the thieves out there. All right, when we come back, President Trump says, I am not going to deal with any trade talks with our neighbors to the north because of an ad that Ontario has been running on American television. We'll play you the ad. We'll get you caught up to that story, and we'll go to the White House for the latest as well. That's coming up next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today. 404-208-3300. That's 404-208-3300.
Annuities, not advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at trajanwealth.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877 for Kids.
1-877 for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
October is here, and this is a perfect month for home comfort. Dave Baker for Coolray Heating and Cooling. See, in October, it'll still get plenty warm during the day, but it will get cool at night. So with the purchase of a complete Carrier system, Coolray's offering up to $2,250 back in rebates and free installation. That's heat, cool, and free installation. Get a jump start on keeping your home comfortable. Book your appointment online today at Coolray.com. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by DE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Air. We're going to start with your money. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger looking at the government's latest consumer price index that was just released this morning. It means it's the main measure of retail inflation. Here's what she found.
Food prices are up 3.1% from a year ago. It definitely pays to eat at home. Those prices up by 2.7%. While eating away from home, those prices are up by 3.7%.
And Social Security recipients will be getting a 2.8% cost of living boost next year. That's an average increase of about $56 a month. All right, your weather for today. Sunny with an afternoon high of 74, says Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz. He'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. As the government shutdown drags on for the 24th day now, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy raising concerns this morning about air traffic controllers taking on second jobs to pay their bills. Passengers like this man vent their frustration at the impact of this shutdown and what it's doing to air travel.
A lot of people are here and they're not getting treated as they should, and it makes the experience more stressful, probably less safe.
And staffing issues could get worse the longer the shutdown drags on. The U.S. has conducted another strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean Sea. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth announcing the overnight strike in a post on X this morning. He said the boat was operated by a designated terrorist organization. All 6 people on board killed. The Trump administration has carried out several strikes on suspected drug boats in the Caribbean as well as the Pacific Ocean. Looking ahead, do you need to get some new Christmas decorations? Well, you might want to drag everything out this morning or today, this weekend maybe, and see what you need, because you probably want to buy it now.
It'll be here before you know it. And if you're planning to deck your own halls and banisters, shop now. Business owners are warning tariffs could lead to shortages of wreaths, garlands, and artificial trees. Industry experts tell the Wall Street Journal many companies paused or canceled imports during the peak manufacturing season. They're also warning what's already out there could be pricier than usual.
And Deborah Rodriguez reports consumers should expect to pay about 18% more for decorations this year. Target cutting jobs after a slowdown in sales. The retailer will trim its corporate workforce by 8%. That's about 1,800 jobs, most of them here in the U.S. Target has reported weak sales growth for 11 straight quarters. And finally, here at 10 o'clock, this is National Bologna Day. We eat 800 million pounds of bologna every year here in the United States. Many of us grew up eating bologna sandwiches here in the South. We preferred fried bologna sandwiches. It was a favorite. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 400 at 47,135. So the Dow's up less than a point, and a percent, I should say. And NASDAQ is up more than 1%, and the S&P is up almost a full percent here at 103. Let's go now to the WSB 24-hour traffic center and get a look at your Friday morning roads.
Well, of course, we are watching this ongoing emergency road maintenance in Morrow, 75 northbound at Mount Zion Boulevard. You got a couple of right lanes knocked out there near exit 231, not causing much of a delay, but there is a bit of an inconvenience. Also on the south side, 285 eastbound, the outer loop just had a crash move over to the right shoulder, right at Jonesboro Road, exit 55. Delays improving there, and trying to figure out exactly what's going on the east side. Looks like it could be a crash. 20 eastbound, just past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. Stall actively working the left HOV lane, 7585 southbound at 10th Street. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Mostly sunny, 74 today. Saturday starts mostly sunny. Will be partly cloudy in the afternoon. Low 49, high 73 tomorrow. Cloudy with showers moving in late on Sunday, high 64.
It is 55 degrees right now in Johns Creek, 54 in Mableton. Lilburn, you have 56 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Friday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:04, 4 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The family's with us today, the whole fam. Deborah is the executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Drip, her screens your calls. Coming up in 30 minutes. I can never get enough of that. And sadly, I'm using that in my everyday vernacular now. Maya will be like, hey, do you want to go for Mexican tonight? I go, heard. Anyway, Vinny screens your calls. Bill, she's like, stop. Bill Crane, political analyst, joins us in 30 minutes. I've got breaking sports news. It is good. It's not the bad FBI raid and arrest of the NBA yesterday, but breaking sports news I'll share with you at 11 o'clock involving one of our favorite athletes here in Metro Atlanta. I'm very excited to announce this coming up in 1 hour. In the meantime, though, again, I marvel at President Trump's energy. Earlier this morning, he took to Truth Social. I think it was like 2 a.m, and he was like, I'm going to paraphrase, but he's like, I'm ending trade negotiations, or I'm halting trade negotiations with Canada. President Trump was upset about a TV commercial that apparently was played on United States channels. And it was funded by the territory of Ontario. Whatever?
Province?
The province of Ontario. Big trade partners with the United States. Canada, our second largest trade partner. So they bought this big TV ad buy targeting American television stations regarding the tariffs that are in place right now from the United States against Canada. So I'm going to play the ad for you.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. But over the long run, such trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. Throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. America's jobs and growth are at stake.
So that's audio from President Reagan in 1987. President Trump called the video fake, but that's real audio. Now, the question is, was it taken out of context? Nicole Killian has the latest from CBS.
The way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. America's jobs and growth are at stake.
That's the anti-tariff ad paid for by the province of Ontario that caught President Trump's attention, prompting him to declare all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. He also called the ad fake and accused Canada of trying to influence the Supreme Court, which is considering a case about whether the president has the authority to raise tariffs.
Yeah, that's an interesting angle. The Supreme Court obviously going to hear the legality of these broad tariffs that President Trump has brought. Let's continue at the White House. Elena Treen this morning.
Yeah, look, the president, Kate, is threatening once again to upend the crucial economic relationship between the United States and its second biggest trading partner. Now, you said this, but overnight the president had said essentially that he is canceling trade talks with Canada over that ad that you played. And what's unclear is if the president had actually contacted or spoke with the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, or anyone in the Canadian government. I will say we've reached out to them. We're waiting to hear what the Canadians have in response to this message from the president. But essentially in this post on Truth Social, he said that he believes that the ad was fake, that the message was fake, that the Canadians government was playing with this ad. And he also argued that it was designed to interfere in the U.S. Supreme Court. Essentially, the Supreme Court is currently considering a legal challenge to many of the president's tariffs. I'm going to read for you some of this post. He said, quote, "They only did this to interfere with the decision of the U.S. Supreme Court and other courts. Tariffs are very important to the national security and economy of the USA. Based on their egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated." Now, the ad, you mentioned some of this, Kate, but while the ad was edited, it did lack context. It is unclear what was misrepresented, because if you look at that speech, it was a radio address that Reagan gave in 1987. He gave it from Camp David. It is very much a full-throated defense of fair and open trade. And what the timing of this as well, I think it's important to point out the context of this speech from Reagan. It was when he was placing higher tariffs on various Japanese products to try and stem the damage of imports of cheap Japanese semiconductors, the damage that was doing to the U.S. economy. But look, to take a step back and just re-examine the relationship between the United States and Canada, it had always been rocky. The president had previously threatened very high tariffs. He also has been kind of joking about having Canada become the 51st state. Talks were very bad when the former Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, was still in office. After he resigned and Carney came into office, it did appear like things were becoming warmer. Relationships between the United States and Canada were getting better. Unclear now, though, where this leaves that.
Elena Treen this morning at the White House. Now, I'm going to try to do this, Deborah. I'm not very good at multitasking, but the the Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, was just reacting to President Trump's halting of the negotiations. So I'm going to play this audio here, unless I just played it on the air. I did, didn't I? All right, this is, I'm just pulling this audio right now. This is Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, reacting to what President Trump had to say on Truth Social.
Look, for months, we have stressed the importance of distinguishing things we can control and things we can't control. We can't control the trade policy of the United States. We recognize that that policy has fundamentally changed from the policy in the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s. And it's a situation where the United States has tariffs against every one of their trading partners to different degrees. And it's in that context that our officials, my colleagues, have been working with their American colleagues on detailed, constructive negotiations, discussions on specific transactions, specific sectors, steel, aluminum, and energy. And a lot of progress has been made. And we stand ready to pick up on that progress and build on that progress when the Americans are ready to have those discussions, because it will be for the benefit of workers in the United States, workers in Canada, and families in both of our countries.
Now, all right, so that was moments ago. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. What I don't understand, Deborah, is so it wasn't Mark Carney and the whole country of Canada that bought this TV time and ran the ad. It was Ontario. So wouldn't that be like if Georgia bought Canadian TV time and was like, hey, whatever. It's weird to me that, it's the province, not the entire. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know the impact of this. I don't know if this will muddy the waters when it comes to the Supreme Court decision. But they're our number 2. They're our second biggest trade partner. So obviously, very close ties. And I always look at Canada as like our kid brother. Like no one can pick on we can pick on our kid brother, but no one. We won't allow anyone else to pick on our kid brother. I would like to get back to that relationship where we're the protective older sibling. And yeah, we can poke fun at our older sibling, but at the end of the day, we're family. Anyway, I just thought that was it. But how 2 a.m? Where does this dude get the energy? HGH? Is he just getting that human growth hormone? At 80 years old or 79, whatever he is now? 2 a.m, I was sawing logs. Anyway, President Trump, speaking of trade, is going to go to Asia and have meetings there with our trade partners in China. I do want to update. This is something we talked about ad nauseum for the last couple of days, and that is the White House ballroom. I'm just going to put a bow on this story. We'll probably not talk about this again. With the entire East Wing of the White House now demolished, the president faces new questions on the approval timeline for the project. ABC's Mary Bruce.
President Trump had said this wouldn't happen.
It won't interfere with the current building.
I asked the White House why they didn't tell the American people when the plan changed.
If you look at the renderings, it's very clear the East Wing was going to be modernized.
But modernized and tearing down are 2 different things.
Well, again, the plans changed.
The White House still has not submitted plans for the project to the National Capital Planning Commission.
All right, I don't know if you've seen. Did you see the satellite imagery, Deborah? Because you can't.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, it's gone. The East Wing is completely gone now. So, I mean, there's no use crying over spilled milk. It's gone. Again, I'm not a big conspiracy guy, but the increased cost of the ballroom started at $200 million, then $250, now $300 million, and it might go higher. And by the way, President Trump is not paying for this. This is corporate sponsors. There's a list of corporate sponsors that are footing the bill for the 90,000 square foot ballroom. But back to the conspiracy theory. And I'm looking at our resident conspiracy theorist.
Oh yeah,
Longoria.
I'm waiting for you to say something.
And I actually, because I mentioned yesterday, like, why does a ballroom cost $300 million? That's ludicrous. Like, you could do it for $50 million, right? It's a ballroom.
Yeah.
The conspiracy theory is that this is just a cover-up to rebuild, like, the bunker under the White House and modernize the bunker, the safe room for the president. And
I thought we were going to Mars.
Well, I don't know. But I was like, all right, that explains why it's $300 million. We got to build a new bunker. The old bunker we built during the Cold War is out of date. We got,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
I'm down for that.
Yeah, all right. I got
$250 million for the bunker and $50 million for the ballroom.
Yeah, exactly. Now, here's a prediction I have. This ballroom, it may or may not be finished by the time President Trump leaves office. He might not see the benefits of this ballroom, right? You know how construction is. Contractors, you're always running late. And it's supposed to take 3 years, which means he would get, at the best case scenario, 6 months use of this ballroom. Here's my prediction. Not on the ballroom itself, but this will be a campaign issue in the next presidential cycle. Every candidate, Democratic candidate running for the presidency is going to be asked this question. If elected, what will you do with the ballroom? And every Democratic candidate is going to say, oh, we're going to tear it down and build the East Wing back the way it used to be, the way it's supposed to be. I guarantee that is going to be a litmus test question for Democratic candidates. Can the debates, there's 7 candidates on stage and it's moderated by Vinny Drip and Jake Tapper. And the question is, if elected president, what are you going to do with the Trump ballroom? And every single candidate is going to be like, oh, if elected, we're going to take it down and rebuild the East Wing the way it was, built by FDR and Truman and Teddy Roosevelt. And I mark it down, Deborah. I've never been so sure of a political prediction. And this is the guy who told you that Biden wouldn't be on the ballot. So I'm pretty good at this stuff. That is going to be a topic of conversation in the next presidential election on the Democratic side. If elected president, what will you do with the Trump ballroom? Write it down, Shani B. 10:17 on the Mark Arum Show. We're going to update our top local stories in just a second. But first, let's check that mid-morning ride on this Friday morning and say hello and good morning to Chinwe Maponia Cook.
Hello and good morning to you too, Mark. I got some better news for you. If you're traveling southbound on that downtown connector, I-75-85 just had a crash move over to the left shoulder that's near 10th Street. So your delays are improving as you work your way towards the airport. And we also have better news on the east side. That crash has been moved off to the shoulder, 285 eastbound at Jonesboro Road. The delays are starting to ease over in East Atlanta, trying to make your way out to Stonecrest, but still a tap of the brakes. You can take Covington Highway. This report is sponsored by CarStar Auto Body Repair Experts. Trust your collision repair to the experts at CarStar. With professionally trained technicians who can repair all makes and models, visit carstar.com. That's carstar.com. I'm Chinwe Maponia Cook, 95.5 WSB.
You can count on it.
You can try and plan for it.
But sometimes it gets the best of you.
Stalled Big Rig 275 southbound the outer loop at 166.
When it stops you from getting where you need to be.
Atlanta's most trusted traffic team gets you there.
Here you slow just east of Georgia 400.
Atlanta's most up-to-date traffic reports from local and trustworthy people.
Every time you listen. Triple Team Traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
I can't believe it!
That's the sound of a reliable customer after getting $1,000 cash back for upgrading to a high-efficiency water heater. Only $69.99 a month with an unbeatable lifetime warranty. And that's someone who added a whole home water purification system and got another $1,000. Do both and stack up to $2,000 in holiday cash. Visit ReliableAir.com for your free consultation. Stay warm, stay hydrated, stay paid with Reliable.
We're having a party and you're invited. Join CenterWell Senior Primary Care for our free grand opening party. Come meet our care team and tour the new center. Plus, food, music, games, and more. Celebrate with CenterWell East Paulding on Wednesday, November 5th, off Charles Hardy Parkway near the Walmart from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Learn more at CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. That's CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. We'll see you soon.
My name is Maria. Okay, I lied, it's Mary. But I'm feeling more European after my European-style holiday on MSC Cruises. The ristoranti, I mean restaurants, nightlife and shops in La Galleria, and of course, American touches, like a sports bar and water slides. Bellissimo. Okay, this is a problem.
Book now, starting from $229, plus kids sale free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
You spotted your termite guy strolling your yard. Is he just getting his steps in? Does he even know where your bait stations are? Scott Slade here. Just ask them to show me the bait stations. If they can't, it's time to switch to Breda Pest Management with a complete liquid barrier, not bait stations, plus early detection both inside and out. And your termite rate is locked in for 10 years. Breda, they handle bugs and critters.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's, but that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
The NBA season tips off, and so does DraftKings' newest fantasy game. DraftKings Pick 6 is the easiest way to play for big wins, with every possession giving you a shot at real money. Here's how to play. Just pick more or less on 2 or more stats and unlock the upside every game brings. The better your picks, the bigger your payout. Pick 6 is available in your state. Plus, new DraftKings customers can get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry on your first pick set. Don't just watch basketball, cash in. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code WSB955. That's code WSB955. Play just $5, get $50 in Pick 6 bonus picks. Make the call. Ride the upside in partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
How do you do, Mrs. Leach? I'm Harvey Manfredson. I'm with the CIA.
Happy 78th birthday to the amazing Kevin Kline. He won Best Actor for A Fish Called Wanda. You know, I've never seen A Fish Called Wanda, Deborah.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah. Kevin Kline, one of the greatest actors of his generation. I despise the man. I despise Kevin Kline.
Why?
Because he married Phoebe Cates.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to marry Phoebe Cates. So if I ever meet Kevin Kline, listen, he's an amazing actor. I'll spit on his feet. Like, how dare you steal Phoebe Cates from me?
You did get Maya.
I did get Maya, yeah.
I mean...
It was an Asian Phoebe Cates, some would say. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Deborah, we've been obviously monitoring the government shutdown, day 24, and I think the straw that might break the camel's back is air travel here in the United States. Former MTV show reality star, now Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, issued a proclamation about side hustles that air traffic controllers are partaking in.
Yeah, Transportation Secretary and Real World Boston cast member Sean Duffy was saying, he does not want air traffic controllers having to do these second jobs just to make money during the government shutdown. He understands, everyone needs to make ends meet, but the job is already really demanding and very stressful. So if you've done that during the day or you have to come and do it at night, do you really want to be going to a second job? And he specifically says DoorDash or Uber or something like that. No, he wants them to be rested and well and focused so that they can control the airspace. Now, he doesn't really have a plan in set to do this. He understands the government shutdown is dragging on, and he's basically saying that he can't guarantee that flights aren't going to get canceled or they won't. They'll leave on time as this continues. But he does not want air traffic controllers having a second job.
But he's not preventing them. He's
not saying that they can't. He just knows that it's a really stressful job.
Well, I respect his. I mean, no one that's one of the top 5 most stressful jobs out there. Being a dentist, running the board of the Mark Arum Show, 2 more stressful jobs I can think of. But air traffic controller's up there. You need to be well rested and focused for that amazingly difficult and consequential job. So I agree with former Real World star Transportation Secretary Sean. It's a shame that these air traffic controllers are having to take side hustles. I think their final paycheck is coming up on the 28th, I was told. I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, thank you for that update, Deborah. All right, news, weather, and traffic in 3. When we come back, political analyst Bill Crane joins us live. Social media is up and active at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
As you go through your end-of-season to-dos, add Call Castile Cooling and Heating to the checklist. You wouldn't send your kids to school unprepared, so don't send your air conditioner into hibernation without a checkup from our specialists. If you've noticed your system struggling, weird sounds, smells, or changes in airflow, let's fix it now. Right now, install a new HVAC system and get up to $2,000 in free upgrades and 0% interest financing. Book today, and help is on the way. CastileAir.com.
More and more these days, people are in pain, are taking control of their health and looking beyond the traditional medicine. Hey, it's Mark here. That's why QC Kinetics is so successful. People with chronic joint pain are learning that there are other options besides steroids, meds, and surgery. Patients fighting pain are getting lasting relief using advanced cellular treatments. It's QC Kinetics regenerative medicine that can revitalize your joints using growth factors from your own body. And check it out, guys. It's a simple injection. No hospital stay. It's fast, all natural, and no downtime. I want you to call QC Kinetics and get a free consultation. Exercise your freedom to look beyond the same old solutions. Thousands of patients around the country finding a better life with QC Kinetics and their amazing regenerative treatments. Call now to get started. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Appointments available on Saturdays. Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, Decatur, and Douglasville.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in Amco just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to Amco.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned Amco near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA.
MCO.
Want to save 1,000 bones on your next roof? Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Right now, save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry, this treat ends on Halloween. FindlayRoofing.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there. Good morning. It is 10:30. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. The GBI this morning investigating after a deadly incident that involved a police officer, a shooting. A suspect had a stolen U-Haul truck. Here's what happened.
It began with a traffic stop at Concord Road and McClendon Avenue near South Cobb Drive. A Smyrna police officer pulled the truck over just before 6 a.m.
The driver of that stolen U-Haul is deceased, and GBI is conducting the investigation.
While details have yet to be released about what led to the shooting, Smyrna Police Lieutenant Meredith Holt says no officers were hurt. So far, the suspect's name has not been released. Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
All right, so as you think about your weekend, how's the weather looking? Well, today it's going to be nice, sunny, and 74, says Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz. He'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. The delayed September inflation report has been released this morning, and inflation is back at 3%. Social Security benefits will increase by 2.8% starting in January, and that's due to the annual cost of living adjustment. So that means about $56 a month more in those checks. But with Medicare costs expected to rise, that's little extra is not much for those who need it, like this woman who's retired. She says she's worried.
I'm just so worried about what's going to happen with Medicare. I worked hard all my life. I finally was able to retire, and I really, really depend on my Social Security check.
GM is cutting 200 salary jobs. Jeff Gilbert has more on that.
The impacted workers are on the design engineering team at GM's Technical Center in suburban Detroit. GM saying this is part of a restructuring and not related to performance. With tariffs and other rising costs, all car makers are looking at areas to cut expenses.
And Rivian is laying off more than 600 people, according to reports. Less than 24 Georgia workers, though, will be impacted. This is at least the third round of layoffs at that company this year. A haunted house in Jonesboro this weekend focuses on real-life scary issues for teenagers. Deborah Anglin, CEO and co-founder of Hearts to Nourish Hope, says that their Haunt Teen reality haunted house deals with things like cyberbullying, vaping, suicide, and distracted and drunk driving.
And then at the end, when they come out, they sign a pledge that kind of
says that they're not going to make some of those choices. They're going to make better choices.
This is the 8th year for the free event. It runs tonight and tomorrow night for kids 13 and up at Lucy Huey Hall and Terra Boulevard there in Jonesboro. Also this weekend, the second annual Laken Riley race.
The Live Like Laken 5K wants to promote safety awareness for women, among other causes that Laken's loved ones want her to be remembered by. The race and walk in Woodstock raises money for the Laken Hope Foundation, which supports organizations promoting safety and aid for women, as well as financial help with tuition for nursing students. Laken Riley was tragically killed while on a run on the University of Georgia's campus. She was a nursing student at Augusta University. Mary Ryan Howarth, 95.5 WSB.
As we check your money, we're in the green this morning. The Dow's up 347 at 47,082. NASDAQ is up more than a full percent, and the S&P is also in positive territory, up more than 0.5%. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Active travel advisory in Morrow with road work, knocking out 2 right lanes on I-75 northbound right at Mount Zion Boulevard. Going to take you about 13 minutes once you hit 675 split to work your way past Mount Zion Boulevard. And we also got some slowing 78 westbound around Brockett Road that is causing you some delays as you make your way into Clarkson. Other than that, I-85 southbound, just some waves of light volume as you make your way south, leaving 316 towards I-285. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. 74 with sunshine this afternoon, falling back through the 60s this evening under a clear sky. Saturday, mostly sunny early, partly cloudy in the afternoon, low 49, high 73. Cloudy with afternoon and evening rain on Sunday, high 64.
We have 58 degrees right now in Atlanta. It's 58 in Smyrna. Kennesaw has 57 degrees. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
The way you should live your life is look at the way they're doing it at D.C. and then just run.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
Other people are getting away with it, so you should get away with it.
Eric Von Hessler. Today at 3.
Well, your best day ever would have been a Tuesday. Who knows?
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
One of the leaders in Canada was running ads in the United States on tariffs that took President...
That's Marco Rubio, U.S. Secretary of State. He is in Israel right now. What's the latest on the Israel-Hamas situation? Political analyst Bill Crane, I should say, joins us live in 2 minutes on The Mark Arum Show.
Fall is a busy time, and selling your home can be overwhelming. Get a guaranteed cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can bypass the market, receive the strongest all-cash offer in the industry, and close in as little as 21 days. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
Dave Baker here for Coolray, Heating and Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. It's October, fall festival, spooky parties, and believe it or not, the holidays are right around the corner. So is your house ready for the good times, the little goblins, and friends and family? Is your HVAC system ready to keep your house comfortable through all that? No? Well, right now, with the purchase of a complete Carrier system, Coolray's offering 12 months, 0% financing, and free installation. That's heating, cooling, and free installation. But maybe your HVAC system's working just fine. Well, Mr. Plumber, a Coolray company, is offering $100 off any plumbing service. From aging water heaters to clogged drains, Mr. Plumber has you covered. It's perfect timing. Say hello to total home comfort and smooth flowing plumbing. Visit Coolray.com to schedule your appointment today. No busy signals, no waiting on hold. Choose the day and time that work best for you. Think of it as an early holiday gift. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. Call A1 Garage Door Service today.
A1 from day one. I did it my way.
10:37 on the Mark Arum Show. 15 minutes from now, we're going to check in with Bloomberg News. The latest trade negotiations between the United States and Canada after that Canadian ad quoting Ronald Reagan. Coming up after the news at 11, I've got some great breaking news for a legendary Atlanta superstar, and Deborah's got tickets to give away at 11:37. But right now, joining us every Friday, as he does on the Mark Arum Show, our good friend, political analyst Bill Crane. Bill, happy Friday, my friend.
I kind of like that German pronunciation, Bill Klein.
Bill Klein. Yes.
Good. I'm doing well.
Let's start in the Mideast. We had the break of the ceasefire last Sunday, but knock on wood, since then, everything's gone back to a somewhat civil activities between the United States, Israel, and Hamas, I should say. Where are we with the peace treaty, and how optimistic are you moving forward?
So we moved into phase 2, and Vice President J.D. Vance was in Israel most of the week. The next kind of significant steps are disarming Hamas, which may be a bit of a challenge, and planning for what is the structure of the government of Gaza and what is the plan, more detailed plan, not just who's going to contribute funding, but for the reconstruction and redevelopment, starting with the infrastructure and also where they can, unearthing the bodies of the hostages who didn't come home, as well as their captors that are supposed to be underground and buried in rubble from the destruction and bombing of the Gaza City. But I think the peace will hold. There's very little chance that Hamas can overtake Israel, and the United States has indicated if they don't disarm, they'll get involved on the ground. So I think it will happen. It's going to be fits and starts. You don't go from open warfare 2 weeks ago or hostilities in the region for thousands of years overnight. But I do want to tip the hat to the Trump administration, the negotiators, our allies in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and elsewhere who are signing a peace treaty that is historic and that hopefully will lead to long-term security in the region for Israel.
Bill, just knowing how leveled Gaza is after this 2+ year long war, the economics to rebuild Gaza into, something where people can live and thrive, that number's got to be astronomical. Is it up to the Saudis, the Jordanians, the Qataris to fund the rebuilding of Gaza?
In the 22-point plan, which was signed off on by most of those countries and led by the Trump administration and our European allies, most of the funding, not all of it, but the majority, will come from the governments of those wealthy, oil-rich Middle Eastern nations who want to see a place for the Palestine people to return and reside. And that will, of course, again, start with water, sewer, and the infrastructure that cities need, which was pretty much wiped out, power buildings. But there is the possibility, though I think it'll take decades, for it to be one of those modern marvels that we see in places like the United Arab Emirates of all new architecture and design, great use of not just oil but alternative energies, which we're again seeing deployed across the Middle East, because they have, as long as there is still an oil-based economy in much of the rest of the world, the wherewithal and finances to do that.
Listeners might not know, but Bill is an aspiring Olympic ballroom dancer. So I would imagine, Bill, that you are on board with the 90,000 square foot Trump ballroom addition to the White House.
Well, since you set me up for this, I will take advantage of the plug for a fundraiser for battered women and children in DeKalb County in the spring. My friend and I will be doing ballroom dancing and of DeKalb County Dancing with the Stars. We're going to do a tango, rumba, cha-cha.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, so I'll let you know on the dates if you want to come.
Absolutely,
anyway,
yeah.
90,000 square feet is a sizable ballroom. I'll point out the positives and then the negatives. It's not taking out the West Wing, which was put in place after World War II for both social events, larger, and meeting space for the First Lady and her events. It's the East Wing portico that you're seeing being torn down. It's not on top of the Rose Garden. That, of course, is now also gone. It's under a cement patio. But it's going in an area that was basically open lawn. Larger events, political events particularly, have been being held in tents on the north lawn of the White House. And with increased security concerns, one of the things this ballroom will have is bulletproof glass. So not just for the President of the United States and other dignitaries, but their guests, there will be more security in this room. And from a spending standpoint, the President and the First Family pays for the entertainment costs and food and beverage in the White House. This is a lot cheaper than going to a Washington, D.C. hotel for a lot of those larger events. And we may remember Ronald Reagan was almost assassinated leaving 40 years ago. a major political event in one of the Hilton properties in Washington, D.C. over in Crystal City. So those are pluses. On the minus side, there are people who believe the White House and every aspect of it is historic and sacred and shouldn't be touched. The president's not going through the normal process, but amendments and changes and additions and revisions to the White House go back to after the War of 1812. Harry Truman did it for security and other reasons, gutted the interior of the White House, built a steel infrastructure. The East Wing itself was built in part to cover underground excavation for secret tunnels to get the president and first family out of the White House and into secure underground bunkers and facilities. Dwight Eisenhower put in a bowling alley. Nixon turned a pool that JFK had into the White House press room. So this is an ongoing process, though, again, Trump likes to lay gold on everything, and his way is a little different than some of his predecessors.
I don't – the issue I have with it is not the addition of a ballroom. All right, we want a ballroom. That's great. Add it on. It was the lack of disclosure that they completely demolished the East Wing. The East Wing is completely gone right now. A lot of history there. I would have been okay if it was just the ballroom addition and not the demolition of the entire East Wing.
They didn't take out the entire East Wing, and it's not going to be taken out. If you look at the photos from Google Maps as well as those that have been released from the White House, there's a portico that's on the outside of the East Wing that's basically a covered gallery that you walk down, that you see all the time, people in sidewalks on the East Wing and West Wing in pretty weather, walking outside the White House because it's quicker, basically on a terraced patio that goes alongside the building. That's gone. But they didn't tear out and destroy the East Wing. It is beyond the East Wing where the portico was, and there's a connecting hallway, and you will be able to look out from the existing larger space in the East Wing, which was used for events of up to 200 people, as well as the Welcome Center for visitors to the White House. The windows of that are gone. It goes into an entry hall that takes you into that 90,000 square foot addition, which isn't built yet, but that's the way it will be.
The satellite image I'm looking at, there's no more East Wing. Everything is gone. East of the White House is completely gone. So I don't know if I'm
not arguing with you. I just pointing out what I got from credible Washington Post and other sources.
Understood. Yeah. All right. Did you hear my prediction regarding the ballroom when it comes to the next presidential campaign?
No, I did not.
All right. My prediction is that during the Democratic primary, let's say hypothetically there are 7 candidates on stage, first debate, Jake Tapper or whomever is moderating debate is going to ask, if elected president, what do you plan to do with the Trump White House? And I think that's going to be the Trump ballroom. And I think that's going to be a litmus test where every Democratic candidate is going to be like, oh, I'm going to take it down and rebuild the East Wing the way it used to be.
I don't disagree that issue, as well as the arc to Trump, which if we have time to talk about today, if not next week, there will be some fodder and fun in that in the next presidential campaign, even though he won't be running, we hope. I don't know that they would reverse that expenditure. As long as the private money building it is disclosed, who the donors are, so we can pay attention later to see what happens, if anything, what benefit those companies or those corporate bigwigs get, I don't have a problem using – I mean, there's all sorts of instances of private money.
Sure.
Not just the Air Force, the new Air Force One from the Qataris. Private money to restore historic structures in the White House and elsewhere. The Arlington Mansion at Arlington Cemetery, which was the old Lee Custis Mansion. It happens a lot. So as long as it's disclosed, but the president is, again, taking shortcuts and not going through the normal process. There's a historic review. There's public comment. None of that happened this time.
We'll get into the arc to Trump next week, Bill.
Got it.
We're running out of time. Political analyst Bill Crane. Bill, have a great weekend, my friend. Thanks, as always, for your time.
Take care.
There you go. Bill Crane joins us live every Friday here on the Mark Arum Show. All right, when we come back, the latest on the brouhaha between the United States and Canada after that Ronald Reagan ad. We're going to check in with Bloomberg News. First, though, we got to check back in the traffic center live with the latest. Chinwe Maponia-Cook.
Well, DOT is reporting a crash knocking out 2 left lanes, I-20 eastbound just past Wesley Chapel Road. That's exit 68. We are seeing some slowing back to the perimeter. And if you're on the West Expressway, just a tap of the brakes into those sunshine delays right near Fulton Industrial Boulevard, exit 49 on I-20 eastbound. This report is sponsored by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy. I'm Chinwe Maponia-Cook, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic hits.
I-75 completely shut down north and south between McDonough and Locust Grove.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Brake lights fill in on 316 westbound at Sugarloaf Parkway.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Heavy police fire department activity.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Football season is here and temperatures are starting to drop, so Ragsdale Heating and Air wants to make sure your home is ready for colder weather. It's Ashley Frasca inviting you to get your fall furnace safety inspection and cleaning. Ragsdale's $79 heating tune-up offer will make sure you're ready to host friends and family this season. Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust. Make sure you never miss a game with a whole home generator from Ragsdale to keep you powered up even during storm season. RagsdaleAir.com. Ragsdale and Carrier, turn to the experts.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed right here on 95.5 WSB. Well, Chris, as you know, time just keeps on ticking. We're putting another year under our belt, so it seems like a really good time to take stock of our financial lives and put together that plan that's built to last.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
We're having a party and you're invited. Join CenterWell Senior Primary Care for our free grand opening party. Come meet our care team and tour the new center. Plus, food, music, games, and more. Celebrate with CenterWell East Paulding on Wednesday, November 5th, off Charles Hardy Parkway near the Walmart from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Learn more at CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. That's CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. We'll see you soon.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
The garage door springs that come standard with most homes don't last. And when they fail, it's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello at A1 Garage Door Service. Our springs are the toughest in the industry, backed by our lifetime warranty. That's right, fix them once and you're covered for life. Don't risk your family's safety or your peace of mind. Let A1 replace your springs before they become a problem. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one.
A1 from day one.
Fall is a busy time and selling your home can be overwhelming. Get a guaranteed cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
At Shane Company, we've been engagement ring experts for almost 100 years. We have the largest selection of diamonds and gemstones in stock. You don't have to wait to compare them side by side. Find the one that speaks to you at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything? anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code AUTO for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code AUTO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code AUTO for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
We have vital interests in Lebanon, and our actions in Lebanon are in the cause of world peace.
42 years ago today, you heard that on WSB Radio. President Ronald Reagan resisting calls for American withdrawal from Lebanon after a Beirut bombing that killed 241 American servicemen. That was 42 years ago today. Not the first Ronald Reagan audio I've played today.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic
That's a portion
thing
of President
by
Reagan's
protecting
1987 radio address addressing tariffs. That is one of our big stories today. Covering it for Bloomberg News. Joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, John Harney. John, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning.
Well, President Trump took to Truth Social and said trade talks with Canada are off. Was this an unforced error by Ontario playing these television ads in the U.S.?
Well, that's hard to say. They certainly got a great deal of attention with this ad, and we should point. You did point out, but we should underscore that while Donald Trump has blamed or has directed his ire at Canada, this was the work of the Canadian of the Ontario government, headed by Doug Ford, who is a larger-than-life political personality, just like Mr. Trump. South of the border.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. That'd be like here in the state of Georgia running ads in Canada, discussing trade imbalances. Would the Canadian government take it out on the entirety of the United States or just the state of Georgia?
Well, I mean, the ad apparently was intended to, it is appearing apparently in Republican-led states as the Supreme Court is preparing to weigh in on whether the tariff agenda that the Trump administration has pursued this year, beginning this year, passes legal muster. The president said that this was an attempt to sway the court. Now, you can argue about that, but then his top economic advisor, Kevin Hassett, said earlier today that it wasn't just the ad, that talks between Canada and the United States, trade talks, were going badly. Now, Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada, who of course won election based on his standing up for Canada's independence, said he thought that the talks and negotiations were going pretty well. So it depends which version you want to the truth may be lied between those two versions.
Is there any validity that this could interfere with the Supreme Court case regarding the legality of the tariffs?
Well, Supreme Court justices are not, as far as I know, prone to influenced by random television ads.
Yeah.
That could be wrong, but there's a lot of irony here. I mean, as you probably have pointed out in your program, this ad quoted Ronald Reagan, who was a hero to generations of conservatives until Donald Trump came along, and not only that, it appeared on the airwaves right before the World Series, in which the Dodgers are playing
Toronto,
the Toronto Blue Jays. So there we go.
There we go, indeed. All right, John Harney, Bloomberg News. John, thanks so much for your time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it impacts the Supreme Court or who people root or not root for in the Super Bowl. I should mention the Ronald Reagan Foundation came out attacking the ad, saying they didn't ask permission for the use of Ronald Reagan. Real quick, Deborah, local story before we go to news, weather, and traffic. If you live in Fulton County, you might be experiencing smelly water. Is
Yeah.
it harmful smelly water or is it just stinky water?
Well, the Fulton County Department of Public Works says, the water might seem a little musty or earthy, and that's because of this annual turnover in Lake Lanier. Now, I guess because the seasons change, somehow the chemical compound of the water there, we're drinking water out of Lake Lanier. Look at all the stuff that happens at Lake Lanier, right?
Yes.
So they're saying it's safe. It might kind of smell bad. It might taste a little bad. It is fine to bathe and to drink, and they're trying to adjust the carbon levels, and it should be back to normal soon.
All right, so if you have smelly water in Fulton County, fear not. It's still safe to bathe and drink. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic in 2. When we come back, I'm going to announce some breaking news. Great news for a local Atlanta sports legend. You're going to hear it next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
If you have Medicaid and are new to Medicare, you may qualify to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual-eligible special needs plan with a lot more benefits, like dental, vision, and hearing, along with helpful support when you need it most. Now is the time to see if you qualify to enroll. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you're eligible. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options. So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual-eligible special needs HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
You know, every year there's that one house on the street that looks amazing. Well, this year it is mine. I'm Chris Chandler. Wise Guys Pro Wash keeps my home clean. Now they make it shine this holiday season. They install lights along my roof line so cleanly that even in daylight you barely notice them. Till I'm ready to plug them in, the whole house lights up then. Wise Guys Lights handles everything. Install, maintenance, and takedown. And right now, first-time customers who mention me, Chris Chandler, save $150 when installed before October 31st. Spots are filling fast. Don't wait. Book now at wiseguyslights.com.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Dr. Roof. A stolen U-Haul leads to an officer-involved shooting this morning in Smyrna.
It began with a traffic stop of the stolen truck just before 6 a.m. near South Cobb Drive. It's along Concord Road and McClendon Avenue. Smyrna police have not said what led up to the shooting, but it says no officers were hurt in the incident. The GBI is now investigating what is the 65th officer-involved shooting so far this year in the state.
And WSB's Judd Higginbotham says so far the suspect's name has not yet been released. All right, so your weather for today, according to Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz, sunny, nice. Afternoon highs around 74. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. This just in. Bond has been set now at $80,000 for a former College Park police sergeant. Donnie Smith in court this morning for that bond hearing in a vehicular homicide case. He faces multiple felony charges after investigators say he initiated an unauthorized chase on Interstate 285 that ended in a deadly crash and then drove away without calling for help. Again, bond set at $80,000, home confinement. The U.S. has targeted a 10th alleged drug-running boat. Correspondent Michael Wallace has the latest on that.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posted on X the latest strike was on a boat operated by the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua in international waters in the Caribbean Sea. Hegseth says all 6 male narco-terrorists aboard were killed in what was the first nighttime strike. President Trump has warned the strikes on drug cartels may expand beyond boats.
So now they're coming in by land, and even the land is concerned because I told them that's going to be next. You know, the land is going to be next.
At least 46 people have been killed in the U.S. strikes.
And President Trump calling off trade talks with Canada after a TV ad ran that showed former President Ronald Reagan blaming trade tariffs for higher prices and job losses. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney saying that the two countries have made progress in areas including steel, aluminum, and energy.
We stand ready
to pick up on that progress and build on that progress when the Americans are ready to have those discussions.
Carney speaking there before flying to Asia for a summit. Really fast delivery from Walmart. Yeah, the retail giant announcing that they've launched one of their fastest delivery services yet for Georgia shoppers come this holiday season. They're going to be offering delivery times as fast as 11 minutes for some items. This holiday season, Walmart said that it is catering to the increasing demand for fast deliveries here in our state, with 22% of customers opting for the express delivery option. That is a 13% increase from the year before. The U.S. annual inflation rate rose to 3% in September, slightly higher than August, but below expectations, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The Consumer Price Index increased 0.3%, I should say, from the previous month. The report, delayed due to the ongoing government shutdown, also showed core inflation is up 3% from last year. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is currently in positive territory, up more than 0.5%. NASDAQ is up almost a full percent, and the S&P is not far behind. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. We have made it to Friday.
Amen. We sure have, Sabrina. Not a good start to it right now out in DeKalb County, though. They're dealing with the crash in the work zone, 20 eastbound, Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68, just east of that exit. It's been in 2 left lanes, so you might want to think about using Covington Highway as an alternate. Seeing a new slow zone also in DeKalb, 285 northbound, the outer loop. Looks like we got some new trouble just north of Covington Highway. We're going to check on that. And you got right lane construction through Clarkston, Highway 78 westbound, the Stone Mountain Freeway approaching I-285. That's why you're seeing the brake lights there starting just before Brockett Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Mostly sunny, 74 today. Saturday starts mostly sunny. Will be partly cloudy in the afternoon. Low 49, high 73 tomorrow. Cloudy with showers moving in late on Sunday, high 64.
It is 62 degrees in East Point, 58 in Cartersville. Dunwoody, you have 61 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I want this town to be near you.
11:04 on, yeah, you guessed it, another extremely busy news day Friday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Airman crew with you till noon. 30 minutes from now, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Bryan Adams and Pat Benatar. Got a lot of big local stories we're going to get you caught up to date on. And it's day 24 of the government shutdown. We'll go back to D.C., get the latest on negotiations there. But I want to start this hour with some breaking news.
Where is
And if you're watching on the WSB live stream, you can see a smile on my face. So this is good breaking news. I've known about this for a while, but I was finally able to talk about it today. The press release went out. You know how much, Deborah, I am a huge baseball fan. I love Atlanta Braves. I grew up in the 80s watching baseball. That's my decade. It was a phenomenal decade. We had some phenomenal athletes in the 80s in Major League Baseball that are currently enshrined in Cooperstown, New York, in the Baseball Hall of Fame. There has, however, been one glaring omission, and hopefully this effort will take care of that omission. A national fan-driven campaign to send one of baseball's most beloved figures to Cooperstown launches today with the debut of a new short film, Dale Murphy to the Hall of Fame. Our beloved Murph finally getting some push here to get him into Cooperstown with where he belongs, get that plaque in Cooperstown up with all the greats of his era. So it launches today with a new short film, Deborah. I'm going to play you the audio here. The voice you're going to hear is country music star Jason Aldean voicing this effort to get Dale Murphy into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
The Eras Committee. It's designed to make sure every era in America's pastime is fairly represented in the Hall of Fame. So let's talk about an era that defined the childhoods and formative young adulthoods of millions of young boys and girls who first fell in love with America's game, watching Dale Murphy's Atlanta Braves play nationally on TBS. Dale Murphy's career, which defined the era known in baseball circles as Generation Murph, followed the natural arc of rise and fall. Murph retired mid-season and hobbled, with 398 career home runs. But in his peak years of 1982 to 1987, Dale was the most productive hitter in baseball.
Home run slugger Dale Murphy powers the Atlanta Braves.
He averaged 36 homers and 109 RBIs. From 1980 to 1990, nobody hit more home runs, and only Eddie Murray had more RBIs. Dale had one of only 5 40 home run seasons in the 1980s. How quaint that seems now. One of 5 30-30 seasons and won the NL MVP back-to-back in 1982 and 1983. The only other 2 eligible back-to-back MVPs not in the Hall of Fame are Roger Maris and Barry Bonds. Not to mention, Dale was also a 7-time All-Star, 4-time NL Silver Slugger winner, and 5-time Gold Glove winner too. Describing Murphy's career, Bill James wrote one word: Cooperstown. Truth be told, his children want this for him a lot more than he wants it for himself, which I'm sure hits home. Many of y'all know Dale. He's happy and content hanging with his grandkids. But his career, which defined the era known as Generation Murph, deserves the immortality that Cooperstown offers the best. That era in baseball deserves it too. This is a game of statistics, and it's equally a game of inspiration and enduring mythology of posters of American heroes hanging on American bedroom walls. We love baseball because it allows us to preserve our inner child, and for those of us who came of age in the 1980s, that means Dale Murphy.
Dale Murphy to the Hall. That was legendary country artist Jason Aldean voicing that. I'm going to post a link to that. Now, the Eras Committee, you might be confused if you're not a baseball junkie like me, Deborah. When a player retires, 5 years after he retires, he is eligible to be voted into the Hall of Fame. And it's sports writers and current Hall of Fame members get to vote in this. And you need 75%, 80% of the vote? 75 or 80% of the vote, I forget, to get in. And Dale Murphy never got in. He never got the requisite votes to get into the Hall of Fame while he was on that 10-year ballot. And then the only other way to get in after is through various committees. And this video that Jason Aldean voiced is straight to the Eras Committee. So each era gets to look at maybe some overlooked candidates. And to me, there's no question that Dale Murphy was overlooked when the original Hall of Fame voting. And I say this growing up. Now, obviously, I'm a Braves fan now. But I grew up a Yankees fan. And in the 80s, it was Don Mattingly and Dave Winfield. But I knew, as a Yankees fan, that the best player in baseball was Dale Murphy. There was no question about it. I got to watch those games on TBS and be like, wow, this guy's amazing. It's, Dale Murphy's incredible. It was just assumed that he was going to wind up in the Hall of Fame. Not to mention the Hall of Fame character that Dale Murphy has. So that finally there's this effort and organization to get Dale Murphy into the Hall of Fame. The website is murphytothehall.com, murphytothehall.com. Full disclosure, Deborah. So I've known about this for a while. I'm on the board of this organization.
Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, this if it was me pushing Don Mattingly to get in the Hall of Fame, be like, Aram, you're a homer, you're a Yankees fan. I wasn't a Braves fan in the 80s. I just knew that Dale Murphy was the best player in the major leagues for a long stretch. And the dude deserves enshrinement. I'm very happy to be a part of this. Thanks to Jason Aldean for voicing that video. And hopefully the Eras Committee, not the Eras Tour, Deborah, of Taylor Swift, the Eras Committee will see fit to right a wrong and correct an injustice. And Dale Murphy. And since, my time at WSB Radio, I've had a number of opportunities to speak and interview Dale Murphy, and just the nicest guy. If character counts, and it should, he's a no-brainer. But I'm very excited. I'll post out the link, but if you want to get all the information, it's murphytothehall.com. Murphytothehall.com. Very excited. And how about Jason Aldean, voicing that video? I'm like, well, I'll voice the video. They're like, they patted me on the head. They're like, we got something a little better. But that's exciting. And Dale would never, Murph, as his friends call him, would never campaign for himself. So it warms my heart that hopefully the Eras Committee and we get this big fan-boosted push to get Dale Murphy into the Hall of Fame. And if he gets inducted, Longoria, I know you've never been to Cooperstown.
No.
In New York. We'll do a field trip.
Yes.
We'll go up to
cool.
Cooper. It's my favorite hamlet in the United States, Cooperstown. It's idyllic. It's beautiful. So hopefully we can get Murph to the Hall. I've been sitting on this for a couple of weeks, Deborah, or a couple of months now. I'm like, I can't wait.
Good for you for being able to hold that.
Yes, and if I'd even mention it to you, and I tell you everything. I even showed you, much to your chagrin,
yes,
I tell you,
the Pepto.
I showed you my Pepto bottle. I'm like, it's going to be a rough show today, Deborah. Yeah, too much information. But, yeah, I've been sitting. I haven't even told Maya.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Or maybe I did. I think I told Maya. Yeah, I probably did tell
You
Maya.
probably told Maya.
Yeah, but I'm very excited about that. All right, speaking of sports, on the non-Dale Murphy side of sports, we had the breaking news yesterday of the FBI arrest involving the NBA. 2 federal cases targeting illegal gambling led to the arrest of more than 30 people. Among the indicted was Portland Trailblazer head coach and Basketball Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups, facing charges for his alleged role in an illegal card game with links to the La Costa Nostra crime families, the Cosa Nostra. CBS News reporter Amanda Arden says he's already been to court. Amanda Arden from CBS News in Portland.
And his attorneys had a chance to ask the judge if she would release him on certain conditions. Those conditions include things like he has to secure a substantial bond with the court in the Eastern District of New York. He has travel restriction in place. He has to transfer assets and allow for legal fee payments and other things. He's also not allowed to participate in any gambling activity whatsoever.
Yeah, crazy story. Again, if you get Dale Murphy in the Hall of Fame, you don't have to go worry about him being involved in an illegal poker ring or a gambling ring. I mean, the dude is a saint. I'm gonna roll one more sports story into this, Deborah. It has to do with the Super Bowl halftime show, and apparently the NFL commissioner is going to stick with Bad Bunny.
Conservatives, including President Trump, have given bad reviews of the NFL's choice of Bad Bunny to headline the Super Bowl halftime show, but Commissioner Roger Goodell indicates there's been no reconsideration of the choice.
I'm not sure we've ever selected an artist where we didn't have some blowback or criticism. Pretty hard to do it when you have literally hundreds of millions of people that are watching.
Bad Bunny, one of the most streamed artists around the world, has been a vocal critic of President Trump. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
You might remember, Deborah, when the announcement came here I was scratching my head about the selection of Bad Bunny, not for political reasons or anything, but I was just like, is he big enough to, do the halftime show?
Right, yeah.
To me, it's Prince, it's the Stones, it's Paul McCartney.
But that's the music that you like.
Yeah, well, that's my point. I'm out of touch, right? And the Super Bowl, for right or wrong, and I still don't get it, to be honest with you, they care. Obviously, it's the most watched television event of the year in the United States, is the Super Bowl. Advertisers, for whatever reason, want young viewers. The demo.
Which is weird because all the ads are for like investments and home buying and cars, which they can't afford.
I've never understood why the ad agencies want that 25 to 54-year-old demo. Like they're targeting Vinny Drip. And no offense to Vinny, you're going to be wildly successful, I know. You're a rising star. But right now, Vinny's not making as much money as a 50-year-old.
Vinny's not buying tickets to the Super Bowl the way that you might buy tickets to the Super Bowl.
And he's not buying, I'm thinking of the commercials on the Super Bowl, a Mercedes-Benz, a BMW, Vinny, you're making more at 25 than I did at 25. So this is no judgment. You're eventually going to dwarf us all in earnings. But I never understood why advertisers want to target people that don't have
the money,
right? You want to target my parents. They're getting pensions and Social Security. Their homes paid for. They're the ones that are making it rain. Like what?
Those are the commercials you see.
I just don't understand. So anyway, Bad Bunny again. I wasn't familiar with his music, but I'm an oldie. I'm an old person.
It's also not in English, so.
Well, either way,
yeah.
I mean, I can respect music of other, but that's why I was like, wow, it's just because I'm out of the loop, and it's trying to attract younger folks to watch the Super Bowl and the halftime show. But you remember, I was dubious. I was like, really, Bad Bunny? Is that a big enough name? Apparently it is. I just don't know.
I enjoy Bad Bunny's music, and I think this is how I kind of explain to people when they've asked me about my opinion, since hey, we work in music and you have these opinions. Okay, so the World Cup is one of the most watched events globally.
Yeah, the most watched.
And it's very Latin-based. Now, I know it's countries all over the world and everything, but there's a lot of Latin community in there, and Bad Bunny is a Latin artist, and he speaks to a lot of that audience, which is crossing over into the NFL as well. And the NFL is branching out globally, too. They're playing games in Germany and Asia and South America now. So I think they're just trying to expand globally.
They want the most
Right.
eyeballs on the game.
And that's an artist that already has that reach. That's
and they
all.
were and they were proposing, let's bring George Strait in to replace Bad Bunny.
That would be pretty rad.
Amazing, but are the 20-year-olds going to be like, yes, George Strait? No, they're going to be, yes,
No,
Bad Bunny.
that's Gen X and older that wants to see George Strait.
But anyway,
yeah.
I just want so they're going to stick with Bad Bunny. I get it. I'm old and in the way, as Captain Herb said, I'm old and in the way. I'm old and in the way. They don't care about my ad dollars. They want, Vinny.
They did give you like Eminem and Snoop and Miss Mary a
They
couple
did.
years ago, so
Yeah.
you can't
Well, that's
complain
why
too
it was
much.
to me, it was such a drastic change from these, I aged out real quick.
Oh yeah, it went from like
It was like from my generation,
to Kendrick Lamar.
yeah, but I guess that was the transition. Yeah, to from Kendrick to Bad Bunny to
No, because I mean, you had The Weeknd in there a couple years ago. We had Maroon 5 when they played here.
yeah, but that's still my generation ish.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, if you were looking, just watch the halftime show on the Puppy Bowl or whatever. If you don't, care, I'm gonna watch Bad Bunny because I've never seen him before. I'm very curious. I am also very excited to see Sweet Ann perform. Our lovable friend at the digital desk is going to be taking the stage. She's going to tell us where and when after we check traffic at 11:18 on the Mark Aram Show. Let's say hello and good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Right now, we are watching a few trouble spots in DeKalb County. Just found, believe it might be a stall or a crash. Nonetheless, you got a left lane blocked in both directions with whatever's cooking here. 285 both east and westbound, just east of Flat Shoals Road, exit 48. So some brake lights heading to and leaving I-20. Speaking of I-20, looks like that crash is wrapped up. All lanes are opening back up. 20 eastbound past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. And on Highway 78 westbound, as you make your way through Clarkston, you have right lane construction at I-285, slowing that ride back before Brockett Road. Traffic brought to you by Staples. Have you heard the Staples Easy button is back with even more easy? Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Get the WSB radio app.
This story is breaking right now.
Get notifications from your source for news.
If you have the WSB radio app, then you saw the breaking news.
Get the WSB radio app.
Don't miss a thing with the WSB app.
Download it from the App Store today.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-Ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
There's no need to be scared of stains in your carpet when you can call Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. It's Patrick, owner of Zerorez. Zerorez cleans without the use of harsh soaps or spooky chemicals, leaving behind clean carpets safe for the entire family. For a limited time, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129 when you mention WSB. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZerorezAtlanta.com. Zerorez, it's the right way to clean.
Men,
Trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
We should all be cognizant and aware of what we're putting in our body, right? What foods we eat, what beverages we ingest. We want to be safe. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. I want you to think about purifying the water in your home for my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Purify your water from, pesticides, lead, forever chemicals, and other contaminants. You're not just drinking it, you're cooking with it, washing your clothes in it, showering in it every day. Reliable makes home water purification simple and affordable. And check this out. It's as little as $39.99 a month. You can get pure, clean water from every single faucet in your home. And you get a free quality analysis today. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. No more bottled water, no more mystery chemicals, just better water for drinking, cooking, bathing, and living. Schedule an appointment now at reliableair.com or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
We're having a party and you're invited. Join Centerwell Senior Primary Care for our free grand opening party. Come meet our care team and tour the new center. Plus, food, music, games, and more. Celebrate with Centerwell East Paulding on Wednesday, November 5th, off Charles Hardy Parkway near the Walmart from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Learn more at CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. That's CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. We'll see you soon.
11:24, the Mark Arum Show, joined in studio future Academy Award winner Ann Powell, better known around these parts as Sweet Ann from the Digital Desk. And you kept this a secret. How did I know now till yesterday? You're going to be on stage from tonight till November 24th.
November 4th. Or November 9th. Yes.
Performing Beowulf at the Academy Theater. Why did you keep this under your hat, my friend?
Oh, my goodness. I just wanted to make sure that we're all working so hard, and I wanted to make sure that it was just right before I kind of let the cat out of the bag.
So I remember Beowulf from high school. I had to read it in high school. Is that what I'm going to see on stage with you?
So basically, we've tried to keep it as time appropriate as possible.
Meaning what?
So basically, all of our wardrobe will be about kind of like the same in that
Period.
style. As you know, like the Old English is a little difficult, so our amazing playwright Philip Dupuy, he changed and modernized the language so it'll be easy to understand for audiences of all ages. It's just great messaging in the play in general, and I will say, being with the mythical elements of it, because it's a modern day superhero, we've added elements of film to it, so that'll be new. Film, and there's going to be shadow puppets and song and stage.
Yeah,
and a little bit
this
of
is
fighting.
exciting. I'm sorry, I can't believe you kept this under your hat for so long. I just found out about it yesterday. So it premieres tonight?
It premieres tonight.
And runs through
night.
November 9th. Folks want to get tickets to this. Academy Theater at mindspring.com or
it's academytheater.org, and then you can just scroll down a little bit and it's right there for
and
tickets.
You can scan for tickets. And can I use the code word?
Yes.
Yeah, the code word MEAD, MEAD, and you get $20 tickets to see Sweet Ann on stage. Is it a secret what character you're playing on stage, or can we reveal that?
No, yeah, I'm actually I was kind of like a late addition to the cast, so I'm just so grateful that I'm even part of it. I'm in the chorus.
Okay.
So that's the song element. I'll be singing in Beowulf.
Longoria wants to know if this is like Hair.
No, it is a play adaptation with music incorporated and central to the plot.
I don't think that's what Longoria meant. I think he meant costume-wise. Sweet Ann Powell, I'm so proud of you, my friend. Beowulf Academy Theater, starting tonight through November 9th, academytheater.org?
Yes, academytheater.org.
Yeah, hold it up there. There's the playbill. Beowulf, if you're watching live at WSBradio.com. Break a leg, Sweet Ann.
Thank you so much.
We're so proud of you. Sabrina's got news, weather, and traffic in 3. When we come back, the latest on the huge FBI bust in the NBA. Fresh details next on The Mark Arum Show.
Selling and buying a home doesn't have to be a juggling act. With Orchard, you get cash up front to buy your next place, then more cash when your old home sells. Start with a free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
The NBA season tips off, and so does DraftKings' newest fantasy game. DraftKings Pick 6 is the easiest way to play for big wins, with every possession giving you a shot at real money. Here's how to play. Just pick more or less on 2 or more stats, and unlock the upside every game brings. The better your picks, the bigger your payout. Pick 6 is available in your state. Plus, new DraftKings customers can get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry on your first pick set. Don't just watch basketball, cash in. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code WSB955. That's code WSB955. Play just $5, get $50 in Pick 6 bonus picks. Make the call. Ride the upside in partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. I've been in banking for over 30 years, and my team and I know that businesses have the best results when they work with local bankers who know the Atlanta market. Bankers who will work to understand your business operations and bring good ideas to the table. At Ameris Bank, we do that. I invite you to reach out so we can start a conversation. Visit amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
More and more these days, people who are in pain are taking control of their health and looking beyond the traditional medicine. Hey, it's Mark Arum. That's why QC Kinetics is so successful. People with chronic joint pain are learning that there are other options besides steroids, meds, and surgery. Patients fighting pain are getting lasting relief using advanced cellular treatments. It's QC Kinetics regenerative medicine that can revitalize your joints using growth factors from your own body. And check it out, guys. It's a simple injection. No hospital stay. It's fast, all natural, and no downtime. I want you to call QC Kinetics and get a free consultation. Exercise your freedom to look beyond the same old solutions. Thousands of patients around the country finding a better life with QC Kinetics and their amazing regenerative treatments. Call now to get started. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Appointments available on Saturdays. Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, Decatur, and Douglasville.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Main Street Auto. A former College Park police officer charged in a deadly crash gets bond in Clayton County this morning.
Former Sergeant Donnie Smith appeared from jail via Zoom before Clayton County Judge Latravia Cates Johnson. After hearing from Smith's attorney and the DA's office, the judge granted Smith's release on an $80,000 bond, but did require Smith to be limited to home confinement with exceptions for going to work, church, court-related matters, or other medical needs. Smith is facing multiple felony charges stemming from an unauthorized chase in which the vehicle he was pursuing crashed, killing both occupants. He is also accused of leaving the scene without rendering aid or reporting the incident. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
All right, so how's your weather as you head into the weekend? It's going to be nice today, says Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz. Looking for sunny skies and a high of 74. A little bit of rain, though, in the weekend comes Sunday. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. The GBI now investigating after a deadly officer-involved shooting with a suspect in a stolen U-Haul truck.
It began with a traffic stop at Concord Road and McClendon Avenue near South Cobb Drive. A Smyrna police officer pulled the truck over just before 6 a.m.
The driver of that
stolen U-Haul is deceased, and GBI is conducting the investigation.
While details have yet to be released about what led to the shooting, Smyrna Police Lieutenant Meredith Holt says no officers were hurt. So far, the suspect's name has not been released. Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
There's been another deadly U.S. strike on suspected drug traffickers. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth today announcing the attack in international waters, 6 people killed. And Flaherty says that there is plenty of speculation about a regime change now in Venezuela.
Everybody is wondering if there's going to be an incursion in Venezuela or, on land, as President Trump has threatened repeatedly. What we are seeing with this latest strike, that it still is in international waters. So for now, there is no escalation. It's more of the same of what we've seen since September 2nd.
43 people in all have been killed in the 10 U.S. military strikes on vessels in the Caribbean and Pacific. Well, the delayed September inflation report finally released this morning, and inflation is back at 3%. Social Security benefits will increase by 2.8% starting in January. Due to the annual cost of living adjustment, that's about $56 a month. But with Medicare costs also expected to rise, that's little extra help may not amount to much. Like this woman tells us, she's retired, says she's worried.
I'm just so worried about what's going to happen with Medicare. I worked hard all my life. I finally was able to retire, and I really, really depend on my Social Security check.
And Rivian is laying off more than 600 people. According to reports, less than 24 here in Georgia would be impacted. This is at least the third round of layoffs at that company this year. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is currently up more than a full %. NASDAQ's up more than 1%, and so is the S&P. All in positive territory. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather brought to you by Finley Roofing. Here's Alex Williams with a look at your roads.
And we've been dealing with double trouble in DeKalb County, Sabrina. Crash on 285 both east and westbound. Just east of Flat Shoals Road, exit 48 was blocking the left lane both ways. Now what they've done, the one heading eastbound on the outer loop, that's totally off to the right. All lanes open there, but the 285 westbound inner loop crash now blocking 2 left lanes. Might want to consider using I-20 westbound as your alternate there. Elsewhere, had an earlier crash heading out of Norcross into DeKalb, 85 southbound Pleasantdale Road, exit 96. That has cleared up, so that should help improve the ride out of Norcross. And downtown, going to check on a new slow zone. 75, 85 northbound might have a new crash just before I-20, slowing the ride back to University Avenue. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. 74 with sunshine this afternoon, falling back through the 60s this evening under a clear sky. Saturday, mostly sunny early, partly cloudy in the afternoon, low 49, high 73. Cloudy with afternoon and evening rain on Sunday, high 64.
64 degrees right now in Tucker and Brookhaven. It's 61 degrees in Dallas. We'll have more news at 12 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic
No
hits,
traffic getting through in either direction.
the Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Even the bridge over 75 is being held.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Out of Spaghetti Junction along 285 westbound and a crash on Peachtree Boulevard, 141 southbound before 285.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You know what's critical about all this? And our day will come. But he had medical follow-up in the days after. He had a bunch of people.
That's Jim Truss, the attorney for Terry Rozier, the NBA player arrested by the FBI. The latest on this developing story next on the Mark Arum Show.
By executive order from Rufus, the Finley Roofing chief barking officer, they're rolling over. Rolling out a $1,000 discount on your Finley roof replacement. Hey, it's Dave Baker for the only roofer I answer the door for, Finley Roofing, the roof guys. Stop repairing the leaks and dragging your feet. Now is the best time to replace that old, leaky, haunted roof and save 1,000 bones. Finley has replaced over 65,000 roofs locally. That's no trick. It's just high-quality work, upfront pricing, and exceptional service. Finley goes the distance. They're the extra effort experts, making sure you have a remarkable roof replacement experience. Finley also has 0% financing available, and for a limited time, you can save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry, you need to shake on this deal by Halloween. Schedule your free roof analysis at FinleyRoofing.com.
You know, every year there's that one house on the street that looks amazing. Well, this year it is mine. I'm Chris Chandler. Wise Guys Pro Wash keeps my home clean. Now they make it shine this holiday season. They install lights along my roof line so cleanly that even in daylight you barely notice them. Till I'm ready to plug them in, the whole house lights up then. Wise Guys Lights handles everything. Install, maintenance, and takedown. And right now, first-time customers who mention me, Chris Chandler, save $150 when installed before October 31st. Spots are filling fast. Don't wait. Book now at wiseguyslights.com.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37 on the Mark Arum Show. Welcome back, friends. At the helm till noon. Then Eric Erickson, noon to 3 here on the Nifty 750. Hope you have a great weekend. Great weekend plans. Hopefully the weather cooperates. Oh, we didn't even get into the drought, Deborah. We're apparently in an extreme drought right now in Metro Atlanta. Maybe we'll have time to get into that before the end of the show. Before we get the latest on the brazen FBI arrest of the NBA and the mafiosi yesterday, we do have some tickets to give away. Our final pair of
tickets to go see Bryan Adams and Pat Benatar at Gas South Arena on November 6th.
All right, Vin, sorry, brah. 24th day of the government shutdown, which means the 24th caller to 404-872-0750. 24th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Bryan Adams and Pat Benatar, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and 95.5 WSB. All right, continue our team coverage of the story that broke live during the show yesterday. FBI arresting an active NBA coach, member of the Hall of Fame, an active player, a former player, and dozens of alleged mafiosa. Covering the story for ABC News, it's Peter Haralambous. Peter, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Thanks so much for having me.
Stunned. I was stunned when this story broke yesterday, Peter. 2 angles to the story, the prop betting angle and the illegal poker mafia angle. What do we know so far about the case against these NBA players and coaches?
Yeah, this case is sprawling. It's these 2 indictments are related but slightly different, and it involves more than 30 people who at this point all eyes are on them to figure out if anyone's going to take a plea deal, plead out, and work with the government and potentially expand this case. Again, one of these cases, as you mentioned, relates to these poker games, this idea that people like Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups was basically used to attract people to these games, and then that these games were rigged using technology like X-ray machines and card shuffling machines that determine the outcome of the game. Separately, there's this case about inside information that basically bets were made on these public sports books that basically used inside information about who was injured and the person, for example, the question of whether, for example, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, for example, whether he would be able to play in a game, and if so, would he underperform? Those kind of bets netted hundreds of thousands of dollars and were used to profit someone like Rozier personally.
Where does the mafia fit in this story, Peter?
Yeah, that's quite a part of this one. So we are talking about 13 mafia members who were indicted as part of this poker game scandal. These are from 3 different crime families here in New York, the Bonanos, the Gambinos, and the Genovese. Basically, they helped orchestrate these games. They took place across the country, New York, East Hampton, Las Vegas, Miami. They helped with this intricate technology, and then when people couldn't pay their bills, when they could not meet their debts after they'd been scammed, the mafia used violence to collect. This is a scheme that is weirdly old school in terms of the tactics here, rigging games, using violence to extort people, but used very new school technology like these expensive X-ray machine that could tell which hand was going to win, and complex communications between these players to kind of send this information around to basically everyone who was on the inside so that they could place their bets appropriately.
I have a hard time wrapping my mind around the incentive that a Chauncey Billups or a Rozier would have in this. You know, they've already amassed multi-millions of dollars in their career. Chauncey Billups, a Hall of Fame player, now a coach. Is it possible that the Mafia had something on these guys to incentivize them? Because if you're making $26 million a year, what is $50,000 on a prop bet scam gonna net you? I don't see the risk reward benefit there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the really kind of hard to understand element of this, right? Because you're talking about people who are making a ton of money, you know, Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, who are wealthy individuals who necessarily are not needing an additional few $100,000s, but there's no indication at the moment that information was used against them. And really, what prosecutors are going to point to is that this is all about greed. If either of them decide to take this to trial, I assume that's a word we're going to hear over and over again in the opening and closing statements, to just highlight to people that this was a needless crime that was really just used to make more money on top of already a very profitable career in the NBA.
Peter, you think we're going to see some more names pop that we recognize if any of these people that are arrested decide to flip and cooperate with the government? Do you think there could be more names that come out?
Certainly. I mean, I think the two things to keep an eye out for, as I think your previous guest suggested, is one, who else knew about this? Because it seems at times like this was something that was well known within the league that players heard about and knew about and didn't do much about. And then the other question, of course, is who flips and who pleads guilty, because we're talking about a big case. When you have a case this big, especially including members of the mafia, people flipping, pleading guilty, and cooperating with the government is somewhat an inevitability. And if that happens, do they have inside information about other people, other face cards, as they call them, that were used and paid to attract people to these games, or other bets, for example, that were placed based on inside information. So I think at this point, once we get through the phase of these initial arraignments where people plead guilty, all eyes are on this question of who's going to take a deal and what does that mean for the rest of the case.
What's the schedule court-wise on these arraignments? When are we going to see this start moving forward in the justice system?
Yeah, so they began as early as yesterday afternoon. We began seeing these, for example, here in New York. We saw a number of arraignments in the Eastern District of New York. And then the case moves rather slowly, I'll say. I mean, we're talking about a district that isn't the fastest in the country and a case that is really complicated, especially when you have this many co-defendants. The process of turning over evidence really slows things down. It's going to be a months-long process. But theoretically, if we see people take this to trial, I could see a world in which this goes sometime as early as the winter.
Peter Haralambous, ABC News in New York. I'm just waiting, Deborah, because there are going to be no more names. One of these cats that just got busted is going to flip.
A big name, too.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a big name.
In the mafia, you have the omerta, right, which is you don't rat on anyone unless your name's Henry Hill. There's no omerta, I don't think, in the NBA. So Chauncey Billups, he's a NBA Hall of Famer. They had to have something on him to be the face of the illegal poker game, the cheating poker game. Glad I never played in that poker game. Unbelievable. All right, Deborah, we are in a now, quote, extreme drought here in Metro Atlanta. We heard from WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards last week about, she called it a flash drought, but now the term we're using is extreme drought?
Yeah, 8.3 million Georgians currently experiencing drought conditions here. And this is the first time since the pandemic back in 2019 was the last time we had extreme drought. And that's basically Metro Atlanta all around us. And extreme drought means agriculture economic loss because, it's a bad growing season.
Sure.
The ground is seeing visible signs of cracking.
Heard.
Landscaping, a loss because they can't grow as much. You're also going to have hay and grazing loss for animals because it's too dry. Outdoor burning has been stopped. Livestock and river ponds are drying up. And I think the biggest one that we talked about was the trees. They're turning brown faster, and they're dropping leaves a lot faster than
foliage.
Yeah, the foliage. Yes, foliage. Yes.
Yeah. As long as I have that, unless you're in Fulton County, you get the smelly water coming out of the tap. As long as I have water coming out of my tap, I have noticed though that the grass is not green and growing, which you can hear live tomorrow, 6 to 9 a.m., hosted by Ashley Frasca. I got to have her come out and check my yard. Over the years, Longoria, you've had a firsthand seat of me giving away $1 million ideas all the time.
Yeah, every
Do you
day.
remember the one where I said we should go to Wyoming and buy tens of thousands of cheap acreage, not good for farming or anything, to find dinosaur bones. Yeah, fossils. New report out on dinosaur fossils in the western United States.
New research on fossils in northern New Mexico suggests that dinosaurs were thriving in North America before the asteroid strike 66 million years ago that caused mass extinction. The fossils date the dinosaurs 400,000 years before the asteroid, and differences between species found in New Mexico and Montana suggest diverse dinosaur communities existed. Scientists have long debated whether dinosaurs were in decline long before the ultimate end. The new findings are in the journal Science. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
That's season 2 of Landman. They're going to stop drilling for oil. They're going to start digging for dino bones because they're so expensive. One of the things that Nicolas Cage famously lost all his money, one of his most extravagant purchases was a Tyrannosaurus Rex skull that he purchased for like $6 million.
What do you do with that?
He put it. It's a conversation
Show it
piece,
off,
Deborah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Talking piece.
He put it in his Lego room. But I'm telling you, if you have the funds, go out and buy cheap land in New Mexico, where you can't. There's no oil. You can't grow crops, and you just start looking for dino bones. And you can use LiDAR now to try to find the bones. I'm just giving away all my trade secrets. Trade secret to avoiding Atlanta traffic, of course, is tuning in to 95.5 WSB, live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Alex Williams.
You better believe it, buddy. And we got new trouble downtown. A crash 75-85 northbound just before I-20, exit 247. Right lane blocked there. They had to hold all lanes to get it over to the right, so that's why you're still seeing the brake lights toward Langford Parkway. Better news in DeKalb County. The crash is cleared. Everything back open. 285 westbound. The inner loop at Flat Shoals. Still some lingering delays back toward Covington Highway, but those will start to improve. And if you're traveling on the south side, that emergency road repair continues, might last throughout the weekend, so be aware of this in Morrow. 2 right lanes blocked, 75 and northbound, before Highway 54 Jonesboro Road, exit 233. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. Monday at 5 on Atlanta's Morning News. How long's the rain going to stick around in our exclusive 5-day forecast? And what Clark Howard wants you to know before you rent a car. Join us on WSB. Fall is a busy time, and selling your home can be overwhelming. Get a guaranteed cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. With Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer, you can receive the strongest cash offer in the industry and move when you're ready. Mark Spain Real Estate has more than 13,000 five-star reviews, so you can trust the top real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home quickly and for maximum profit. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
This is Scott Slade. I had a chance to catch up with my friends at Myland recently, and they were telling me how busy they've been helping homeowners access the equity in their homes. Over the last few weeks, rates have dropped, and people are jumping on the opportunity to refinance and open home equity lines to do long overdue projects or consolidate high-interest debts. Even if another lender has told you they can't help, it's worth it to call my friends at Myland. They have so many different loan programs, low rates, and highly trained experts waiting to help you. It wouldn't make sense to call anyone else. I trust Myland with all my home loans, and you should too. I can't tell you how many testimonials and success stories I've heard from these guys and gals over the years. Do yourself a favor, give them a call. 770-817-2000. 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com, spelled it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Residential Mortgage License C148769. Myland's located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
More and more these days, people are in pain, are taking control of their health and looking beyond the traditional medicine. Hey, it's Mark here. That's why QC Kinetics is so successful. People with chronic joint pain are learning that there are other options besides steroids, meds, and surgery. Patients fighting pain are getting lasting relief using advanced cellular treatments. It's QC Kinetics regenerative medicine that can revitalize your joints using growth factors from your own body. And check it out, guys. It's a simple injection. No hospital stay. It's fast, all natural, and no downtime. I want you to call QC Kinetics and get a free consultation. Exercise your freedom to look beyond the same old solutions. Thousands of patients around the country finding a better life with QC Kinetics and their amazing regenerative treatments. Call now to get started. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Appointments available on Saturdays. Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, Decatur, and Douglasville.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
I'm Channel 2's Lori Wilson.
I'm Fred Blankenship. Channel 2 Action News this morning is the best place to be for breaking news.
So much is happening, and we're on it. Our reporters are the first to know in your community, bringing you fresh information, the best video.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're everywhere, live, to prepare you for the day ahead.
In the morning, see what's new.
Don't miss a day. Join us. Channel 2 Action News this morning, 4:30 to 7.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code AUTO for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code AUTO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code AUTO for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
I speak for all mediocrities in the world. I am their champion. I am their patron saint.
Great performance in a great movie. That was actor F. Murray Abraham playing Salieri in Amadeus. F. Murray Abraham turns 86 years old today. Reminds me of that scene, F. Murray Abraham, in Ted, where they're talking about F. Scott Fitzgerald. And Ted and Marky Mark were like, "What's your problem with Scott Fitzgerald? Like, why have beef with him?" She's like, "What are you talking about?" We're like, "You just said F. Scott Fitzgerald." And she's like, "No, that's his name." Anyway, F. Murray Abraham, phenomenal. He was in White Lotus a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, last season.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so good. All right, Deborah, signs you are aging well. I'm assuming not taking Pepto-Bismol before a talk show 3 times a week. That's probably not a good sign I'm aging well.
Well, it didn't make the list, so
Okay.
I'm not sure. But yeah, there's a doctor who does anti-aging and holistic medicine and everything. And he says, here's a couple things to know that you're aging pretty well. So do you have a strong grip? Like, can you hold on to things? You guys should be fine with this.
Yeah, well, I do the push lawnmower, so
yeah, that's
my
true.
forearms
Yeah.
are.
Movement with ease.
Well-
Stretching. Well, you
Oh,
have
that kind of
movement
movement.
with ease.
I thought you meant the other kind. No, I don't move with ease. I don't
No?
glide anymore.
Okay.
No.
Quick recovery from viruses and infections.
Nope.
That's not you anymore.
I'm still fighting a cold for
Yeah.
2 weeks. Okay.
Good mood and libido.
Yes and
Good
yes.
mood.
Check. Yes.
And a sharp mind.
I'll leave that to
I'd
you.
say,
to be
yeah, you
judged.
have a sharp mind.
Some
yeah.
days it's not sharp. Some days
everyone
it's,
has an off
I
day.
couldn't remember the name of that movie. Now I can't remember it again.
Clear and present danger.
Clear and Present Danger. Yeah. So
Right.
I don't think I'm
Well,
aging
if you'd like to test your ability to move better, one of the things you're saying is to sit down on the floor without using any hands and then stand up again without using any hands. No,
Maya
it's
could
not.
do that.
That is hard. It's not hard.
Yeah, I can't do it. Longo and I, we're husky. We can't do that. But, yeah, Mai does that with ease. All right. Signs you are aging well. Hey, congrats to Rich in Lawrenceville. He won a pair of tickets to see Pat Benatar and Brian Adams, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show at 95.5 WSB.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, today's National Bologna Day, and you may pronounce the sandwich meat as bologna. That's perfectly fine, but the name Bologna comes from the birthplace Bologna, Italy. The original Italian sausage, mortadella, is finely ground pork sausage dotted with flavors, cubed lard, and often pistachios. It's a true Italian delicacy.
I am going to reveal something I've never revealed before in my life. On National Bologna Day, I think it's apropos. Back in the mid-'70s, I was actually in a bologna commercial, and I'm still getting residual checks. You might remember the commercial I was in.
My bologna has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R.
That was me, Deborah.
My bologna has a
My little
second
Jufro.
name. It's M-A-Y-E-R.
Got a bologna sandwich in one hand, fish and
I
polo.
love to eat it every day.
And if you ask me why, I'll say
'Cause Oscar Mayer has a way with
B-O-L-O-G-N-A. I can't believe I revealed that.
Is that why the Wienermobile was here the
That's
other day?
why, yes. Yes, the Arum fortune was built on bologna money from the mid-'70s. Did you know I was in that commercial?
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark
I didn't.
Arum Star of the Show?
Yeah. I was also Mikey from the Life commercial. I was a child star. But you know, child stars struggle when they become adults. They have to drink Pepto-Bismol before the show. I fought through it, so I'm going to give myself a star of the show. Peter Haralambous joined us from ABC in New York City on the FBI arrest of the NBA stars, Colonel Jeff McCausland, political analyst Bill Crane. How about Sweet Anne? Go see Sweet Anne at her play, Beowulf. Where is it, Deborah? On what stage? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Academy Theater.
Yes.
Academy Outdoor
She'll
Sports.
send us the link. and
Yeah,
we'll share it.
exactly. So proud of Sweet Ann. No pity. I can't give the pities today. Deborah says no pities.
Look what happened last year.
No, you know what? Longoria came in here. He was supposed to be late, but he made it on time. I will give you a star of the show for that. Social media is up and active at Mark Arum, M-A-R-K-A-R-U-M. Oh, Dale Murphy gets a star of the show as well. Love the Murph.